an AWP, right? And you need to take them. You need to be a bit selfish at times as well.
Nicolas, one final question. Is this the best team you've ever played on?
I would say so, yes. At least the best team with the best players around me, I would say. So maybe not right now we're the best team, but we definitely have the highest potential of all the teams I've been on.
You hear that, Yabby?
Welcome to the Blast Spring Final. Hell yeah. I'm ready. I'm excited. The stage is set. Who's going to lift that trophy? Oh! What is that? It all comes down to the next 3 maps of Counter-Strike. All right. Okay. And he can't believe it. Oh my God.
A rivalry that's gone on for a while, a regional rivalry, and now they get to face off. Welcome back to Spring Groups. Thank you to Maniac and Pimp for holding down the fort. Henry G and Anders as well. They step away. I'm in the mix with Babsky, and we've got Scrawny and Launders ready to take over in-game. Welcome to it, this group's winner match. Right now, it is Cloud9 up against Virtus.pro. Such an interesting matchup because on one side, you have Cloud9 with these very unique roles that they play in game. On the other side, you have VP with this unique play style, a conversation that we always have when we watch them play. Since they won the major, since Game Time became a thing, it is always about the unique play style of Virtus.pro. Babsky, break it down for someone who's never watched Counter-Strike before. Why is it so unique?
I mean, I think it's mostly due to Virtus.pro way of playing. They are a very unique team, as you said it. I think it's the story between the tactical team and the more individual-based team. I think everybody on Virtus.pro is a fan of James' way of playing, but on the opposite side, Cloud9, they're playing more freely. They have the players and the quality to play a little bit different.
How did James find 4 players that were so willing to adapt to his style? Because that doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I mean, he took some of the players early on. Fame hadn't played in many other teams before coming into Virtus.pro. Fleet had only been for Force for a little bit, so it's not going to be that complicated to make people buy into a system if that's all they know.
A player like Norbert, Mur, not necessarily players that people would hype up, if you like, at one point. But for some reason, in this system, it's working.
It's Game Time. Everybody works in Game Time for some reason. They've changed quite a lot of players, but I think they work extremely well together, and I think that trio, as we discussed before, Fleet, Fame, and James, is certainly one to look out for.
Why do you think that trio works so well?
I think when you see James with the orb and the way he is able to play the rounds slow, I think it really buys into what the other players want in some way. I think Flit and Fame, they could also play in other teams, but they're so zoomed into the way they're playing currently that I don't think they want to change. Many players joining Virtus.pro with a lot of experience would be like, this is wrong, we should do it differently, but I think they buy very much into it.
Don't you think that's problematic? We should be talking about this matchup, but I'm curious what you think here. Don't you think it's a little bit problematic down the line? If you want to leave VP, you're so ingrained in this system now. And on the same page, if VP wants to bring someone in to try get them ingrained in the system, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, and we've seen it before. I think we see it with Mia. He's played in Team Spirit before, and he's not looking too shabby. I also think some of the rounds that they're playing is not really working out due to the time that they're simply running out of.
Fair enough. Now, we do have some executions that we've seen VP do. Walk me through why it works sometimes, why it doesn't work.
Yeah, for the reason why it works is that the CTs is often super low on utility, and they're extremely structured when they run up together. They get the trades, they know where the flashes is. Often opponents are waiting for such a long time that they're not ready for it. But often we also see that James needs to save the orb.
I'm curious how this works because a lot of the teams that you speak to will say, well, you know, to be honest, like, we don't know how, it's an annoying way of play style. We don't know how to play against it. But there is a reason VP is not the #1 team, because a lot of teams have figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a good coach and a good IGL, what they certainly do have on Cloud9, then I think there's a lot of potential to find it a way to play it.
Some more examples of those, the style that we've been talking about that comes from Virtus.pro.
This is the issue. When you have so little time, there's a lot of stress happening. You're not really able to make the clear plans as you wanted to do in the start. We see the boost come in from the opposite team. It's really going to cause a lot of issues when you only have 10-20 seconds to plant the bomb.
Do you think it's dangerous as a team? I mean, I think it's dangerous as a team to have a very specific style of play. If you don't know how to be dynamic, it creates a situation where if, for example, a team comes in and adapts to your style, what the hell do you do? And we've seen this with Virtus.pro. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where James needs to improve. He needs to find a new way with Dastan to make these games a little bit more interesting. I know they're not a fan favorite because the way they play is certainly not exciting, but they get rounds sometimes. But as you said, sometimes teams figure them out. And if they do that, they really need to find a plan B.
It's interesting because like they're not a fan favorite because it's not that hype, entertaining moment. But if you are a Counter-Strike nerd, watching Virtus.pro is like a wet dream because they do play that incredible chess.
For me, I think they're a great team. I think other teams are also looking at them, how to default. They're one of the best teams in the world when it comes to defaulting because they have so much structure. They know how to flash each other. They don't take unnecessary duels. I think it's a very interesting team to look out for when you want inspiration.
We've spoken a lot about their playstyle, but I'd like to hear from Virtus.pro themselves. So let's find out what Fame has to say.
Fame, coming for you guys into Blast, is there extra motivation for you guys to do well and show your best here?
Yeah, as I said to you, it's no more excuses for us. We just need to perform, we just need to play good. And I think our goal is to win every match we compete in and to play on the highest level. Yeah, that's it.
And let me look at the VP style of play. We talk about how you guys play, but it's such a unique style. Do you think there is a reason other teams don't try and copy you? It's only you guys that play this way.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't play a lot with other players from other teams, and for me, it's normal style. Okay. Everyone should play like us. I feel like that, but it's hard to say. Maybe from other perspective, from other team perspectives, it looks like unique or something boring. I don't know, but for me, it's not just normal play style, and we believe in this, and we still playing like this, and I think it's helped us to win. Yeah.
Now going up against VP, obviously it's a rivalry in terms of the region, right? And people who play very different style. I want to see though, their style and the timings they have. Do you feel like there is a counter to it? Like there's an easy way to play against it?
We met them a lot of times, you know. I know the James style good, I will say, but it's always tough to play against them because, you know, the rounds always ending like 20 seconds or something. But still, I think we can counter them with this style because we know how to counter it, and I hope we will show our A game today.
And what would you say is your biggest strength as a team against them?
I think the understanding of the playstyle and how to counter this playstyle.
So much tea being spilled there from both sides. Fame said something that kind of made me a bit worried, and it was what we were talking about before, where he was like, I don't play with anyone else. That can be a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, it can be a benefit to Jame, and it can also be an issue that you all of a sudden don't have players to challenge that opinion. It's so important in good teams, and I remember that from Australis, that you would be like, hey, Glaive, is that really a good call or not? But because I think at this team, if James says something, it's the law.
The problem with that is when you have a team like Cloud9 that can adapt, and they've shown they can, because in the last meeting they did just that. They adapted to this playstyle, and like Electronic said there, he was like, well, we know how to play this. You have this issue in Virtus.pro where you see it happen in real time, not James time, real time, where they go, we don't know what to do now because we are playing this formulaic way of Counter-Strike. I just think that is the VP downfall.
Yeah, but it's also brought them to this stage. Don't think they would have become the team that they are and have won a major if they didn't want to stick to those principles, because we saw in that major final against Heroic, they had the principles, they just played their game, but Heroic completely fumbled the bag against the type of playstyle.
But the major was a long time ago, Babski. 2 months ago, Cloud9 beat them with this lineup, and it was pretty fresh. And this is the thing, because they have these dynamic roles that they're playing, they seem to be able to just change things up. And when they're confident, which we saw yesterday, Cloud9, I say they're confident as Boomich is taking a giant yawn on camera, but the truth is they are looking really good. I think that they're going to adapt pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Boomich, who is one of the best in-game leaders of all time, I think he's such a dynamic player. He's willing to take the risk. He's willing to take the timing. Not all IGLs are in this way. We see some more passive, like Blame F and so on. But this guy, he will go through the smoke if he feels the timing. And the players like Virtus.pro are not ready for that type of Counter-Strike.
How do you deal with someone like Boomlich, and specifically with this Cloud9 roster where the roles, like we said, aren't very specific? You don't know who's going to be open. You don't really know what you're facing off against. I think that rattles Jame a little bit. It's done it in the past. Yeah. I think it'll do it again.
I think Jame is the type of AWP from playing against him formerly in my career. He's really like to look at the heat maps of other AWPs where they run on the map, like so he can lock off the angles and find an easy entry kill. But he's not going to have that chance against Cloud9 because he's going to be looking at 5.
How good did this lineup look yesterday? I thought that they looked pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was super impressed, and I also think James said it, that they have boot camp for such a long period. They play 12 hours a day, and it gives a lot. Counter-Strike, in my opinion, is a question of quantity at times, because you just need to get that feeling together.
Stand out for you when you take a look at this lineup and what we've specifically seen yesterday? I want to say Boomich, but I know that you're on that Electronic hype train.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Electronic going into the role of Boomich, that he was going for the IGL role, but he was, I wouldn't say terrible, but he wasn't himself. We see the stats before and after, and it's just a massive difference in terms of what he delivers on the board, because Boomich can also kill people. So if he's able to actually be his old self, then there's a much better Cloud9.
I believe, and it's my opinion, my uneducated, not professional Counter-Strike player opinion, that the veto is going to play a huge role in this, because after seeing these two teams play 2 months ago, which in all fairness, it was online, I think that the veto then played a big role, and there was a lot of strategy behind the scenes, lots of thought processes going into it. In that particular matchup, Cloud9 won 2-1. I think here, the veto is going to play that same role, and there's going to be a lot of anti-strats and thought in it.
Yeah, there's going to be a difference. Last time they didn't get to play their favorite map, Overpass. We talked about it a little bit before, but because Virtus.pro, they don't give a damn what you're good at, because they're going to go for that Overpass. They're going to start on that T side, and they're normally going to get that 6-7 rounds.
Are you surprised, though, because last time they met 2 months ago, end of October, Cloud9 banned Overpass. They got toasted by by Virtus.pro on Vertigo. But I'm surprised with the Anubis pick and Virtus.pro letting that through, because at that point Virtus.pro got toasted by Cloud9.
Yeah, and that's the issue with Cloud9. They're super good on a couple of maps, and Overpass is one of them. We have an 80 to 90% win rate, and they almost win. And this is also why we say it's kind of famous that Virtus.pro always go 3 maps, because they always win that Overpass. But on the other maps, they are not the same. They're kind of lackluster in the map pool, and they need to build on that.
Do you think No, actually, I know what you think. I don't think this. I think Cloud9 is going to be able to beat Virtus.pro on Overpass.
Okay. So
I think that they let it through. I think that they're ready. They've got an 80% win rate in the last 2 months. They've been boot camping 12 hours a day. They said themselves, they know Virtus.pro. They know how they play. I think, I mean, the stats say otherwise, but hell, I'm just going to throw it out there. I think Cloud9, they let it through because they believe they can.
Yeah, I mean, other teams have fallen in that trap trying to go for that Overpass and let it through, but I think it's a little bit of a mistake to think that you can anti-strat your way out Virtus.pro. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of demos and quantities you can look at, but when they have such a dynamic playstyle on the Overpass, I think it's going to be hard to find the specific way to do it the same time every time.
I was always curious 2 months ago when they did let Vertigo through. It was an interesting one for me because Cloud9 looked horrific. So it makes sense, obviously, that it's gone now. But if we had to wrap this whole thing up, when you take a look, I believe in the Cloud9 hype. I think that they're going to shake things up and scare Virtus.pro. For you, are you with Cloud9 winning this?
Yeah, I'm for the Cloud9 train. I think they impressed me so much yesterday. I think Heroic played some rounds good, but the individual quality that came out of some of the players from Cloud9, I was so surprised. I was devastated when I heard Shiro was not going to be a part of this roster because it made so much sense on paper. All of a sudden he's out and he's on Spirit, and he's been kind of average, and they've been playing better than ever. So it's such a weird situation.
And on the side of Virtus.pro, though, obviously we've heard from them yesterday. They've touched on it a little bit today how important it is for them to be here for Spring Groups. I think Justin was saying for him as a coach and for his team, the more they can play, the more that they don't have to grind all the open qualifiers, it's so important. So they're going to want to be sticking around.
Yeah, I mean, it's a deserving chance. Virtus.pro have always been a part of the top, and they're kind of the team who are the ones you have to beat if you want to make it deep into playoffs. I think they've been very consistent. They've missed a couple of wins last year. They didn't go to Cologne, but they're also having a harder time getting the points because they were not invited to many of the Blast tournaments. So I hope they're going to build upon what we've already seen in 224.
What we saw yesterday with Cloud9 is that they're quite dynamic, they're quite fast-paced. Virtus.pro, of course, it normally takes 18 hours to get through a map. How does Virtus.pro handle the fast forward that I think Cloud9's about to bring?
We're going to hope for Flame and Flit to have a good day because individually they can actually match some of the players. Flit and Flame is not equally as good as Exile and Electronic, but they're up there. They can still have a good day and do it difficult for these players to have an initial good game.
It's going to be really interesting. I can always say it's interesting. Of course it's interesting. Counter-Strike is always interesting. I got to come up with a new word. Babsky, help me out.
Fascinating.
It's going to be fascinating. I think that's even worse than interesting. This is why we don't cast in game, because our vocabularies are weak. So Scrawny and Launders can do it instead.
It's gonna be stupendous. Sam.
Stupendous? Maybe exhilarating?
Yeah.
Titillating? Exhilarating? What do you want? What do you want tonight from Virtus.pro versus Cloud9? What I want is, like Bubsky's just mentioning, strong showings out of Flit and Fame and the Rifleman of VP. I think that Jame obviously is uncontested in this server. We got some crazy highlights out of Boomich on the AWP yesterday, but let's be real, dude, it's Jame. And so right now the GG bet odds have Virtus.pro as the favorites ever so slightly.
I love that. I think like the bettors, they sort of have this right. It's like, I would say Cloud9 probably the slight favorite on paper. I think they got better players, probably.
Ну, сейчас будет прямо очень мясная игра, мне так кажется, потому что кэфы у всех почти одинаковые, хотя по кэфам
I can see this definitely going either way. I mean, I don't know. No one feels confident about this. Even all the interviews, Hobbit yesterday, Electronic today, they know that VP are incredibly tricky to play against. There's no hiding that. Everyone knows that.
I think what we have is like this perfect storm, much like the Astralis versus Vitality game. Right now, this C9, with the level we got out of their retakes yesterday, with the amount of clutches they could pull off, those are exactly what you need to fight fire with fire when it comes to VP. They may hit your bomb site when you don't expect it. They may whittle things down to the final few seconds. But the protocols for Cloud9 to deal with problems yesterday was their biggest strength. If they can put that forward this evening, then they can definitely keep VP on their toes. It's a shot to the final on the line tonight.
Like subjectively, they've had the best retakes. Objectively, they probably had the most clutches. Cloud9 team so far we've seen to start the year off. So from the team perspective and individual perspective,
всем приятного просмотра. Поддержите стрим лайком, подписывайтесь на канал. Погнали.
So we got Virtus.pro playing Human Centipede here up bathrooms, and they have made progress.
Yeah, it's just going to be Exile completely alone and dead because Norbert is on one, and he has been second highest rated player for VP at this event, and trying to take over as the second best rifle on this roster, slowly chipping away at that reputation. And it's such a unique story of a player who gets to leave and be given a chance with transparency to reinvent themselves. He won't find anything more than his one, but the players in sight still hold this back. Boomich, great chance here, and just the last couple shots, all he needs to get this evened out. Jame leans back, finds the head of Boomich, and Electronic with Berettas, time ticking, desperately needed a kit, doesn't have one. This is VP to take T-side pistol.
Yeah, nice try. Great shots from Boomich, who was a standout player yesterday. there was no denying what we saw from Boomich was like
Boomich
the best form that we've seen from him. He said he's been putting in 10 to 12 hours a day, and he said that sort of timidly before the game started. I'm sure he wanted to let his game speak for itself. And then when he hopped into server, well, he dropped 30 kills. He looked sharp. He won a 1v3 on Mirage. You couldn't, if you hit the name tags, you almost couldn't tell that it was him. I mean that with all due respect. When he was playing on Navi 2021, he was clearly the one who had the messiest mechanics, even though he was clearly an individually talented player. Before joining Navi, he was a star player, obviously. I think we're just seeing him get back to that and still maintain as an IGL.
A classic tale of somebody who has to step away from the top level of the game and then come back. So it's nice that it's better than ever.
Virtus.pro, Anubis, Cloud9 и Inferno третья карта.
Но я бы посмотрел с радостью Inferno. And we are talking about a major champion in Norbert. Couple pistols found out by James.
Yeah, you can shoot me 600 times, but that's it.
Yeah, he didn't like that. He'll hold back. That frickin' ump in play again, huh? I heard Anders and Henry having a conversation about SMGs earlier today.
Инфа есть, походу сейчас будет выход
still
на
claiming
Б.
that the P90 is the way to go. I don't know about that.
Okay.
At IEM Sydney, I think it was Zorte who had just kept using it constantly for Bet Boom. Like, I swear he bought more P90s than he did AWPs. But it's just too expensive for my liking.
And the half kill reward, and it's so expensive.
But
they haven't adjusted that, have they?
I'm not sure. I can't say.
It's not like 300% like you get with other SMGs. It's still 150, I think.
Can't say I use it enough to give you an answer. 50 bullets is nice, though.
It was once upon a time that was a nerf for the P90 was to half the kill reward.
Well, it's like the CZ's still like that, right?
Ew. Yeah, the CZ has. Yeah. You get $100 per kill, I think.
Did you see that Twist CZ highlight the other day that Darth Mike streamed during the RMR close qualifier?
Ну, я
It's like if you're going to catch a charge, $100. What if you go to jail for that?
Hey.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, you did? Okay.
Sorry. Понял,
Thanks for answering.
Меня погромче, наоборот, сделать.
Put it in the
Вот так, наверное, да, нормально будет слышно.
You can wait in queue.
I queued it up, the memory called back on it.
Yeah, 2 pistol highlights
Пока настраивались, просрал кто-то там. Взял раунд.
Back-to-back days. One with Beretta.
Раунд взяли
the
ВП,
other
да?
one with the CZ.
And great casting.
So, yeah, of course, Darth Mike.
Да, 2-0.
It's an oxymoron.
You want to watch some great casting in HD? You can download the Blast TV app.
Yes, the app released today.
I tried to review it because it's actually very smooth on day one. And yeah.
Но все так же за Cloud9 больше, что выиграют они. Что облако выиграет.
Gonna get the first one, and it is mirrored
За
down.
ВП вообще никто не верит.
A little stranded as the door has been blown open, but he's got a teammate to just pinch down in con. So as much as Hobbit feels the pressure, I feel like Flit as well knows he's in a bit of a pickle. Hobbit's gonna go for the escape, and Flit allows him to leave.
Look at Axel just not moving.
There's like pinches on both sides here. You know, at first it was Hobbit, and then it was Flit, and then for a second it was Axile, but he's the one who's able to get himself out of here. Safe boost behind Pillar. Norbert's going to look for the entry. Galil in hand. Can't manage to best the barrels player. We saw some superb rifle work out of Perfecto yesterday.
Ooh, 1v3 by him as well. Mirage.
5-2, скорее всего, будет сейф.
He was neat and tidy.
Yeah, Perfecto was just tight. Incredible, man. It was incredible yesterday.
We saw him as the only other player that ended up picking up the AWP for Cloud9. It was only Perfecto on Mirage, and it was only Boomich on Anubis. So Hobbit's retired it for now.
Yeah, I think, could it be Ancient, that Hobbit ops? And then it was Anubis, or sorry, Nuke, it's Boomich again.
Who knows?
And then, but they said there's some new things brewing.
Can't say I've kept track because they claim it's just changing all the time, so I'm just going to go day by day.
And VP don't know either.
Nope, that they don't. They don't know what to do with themselves in this 2v5, so they decided to call her quits.
От команды ВП.
An ump and an AK saved.
And Electronic playing B. Axel playing B is him getting his spot.
Да, Anubis хорош у них.
Excuse me. So we haven't seen Boomich pick up the op on overpass, right? Not yet.
Они и на Мираже вчера так нормально сыграли.
I'm ready for it, man. He was putting that thing to work yesterday.
That will be a very good test.
He has.
How well can you op on overpass? Overpass and Nuke would be the two maps. that will really show.
I mean,
if you look in like, and I'll say, if he's opping on the majority of maps, I think that's good because he's the best opper on the team. So,
co-signed.
Let's see.
I think he's really going to have his hands full, though, because they are playing Virtus.pro on Overpass. That's a problem in and of itself.
Yeah, we're going to see J-Mop on CT side and show us how it's done.
Oof, getting a little frisky here, Hobbit.
Чуть не поймал Флейми.
Oh, nice grenades are amazing.
А Джейми поймал.
Back to back with the frags.
They don't even have to fight anymore, man. Those
are happy to leave.
Забанят, так забанят. Нет, ну не знаю, это 50 на 50.
And they're out. Electronic in the pre-game interview with Banks saying, you know, we know how to counter this style from VP.
Тот не стримит. Ну забанят, пойду.
Alexi B
на Twitch.
Alexi B is grinning, inspired
Спасибо.
by the Cloud9 nade usage.
Я тоже
here.
надеюсь,
3 players
что не забанят.
for 50 health off 3 separate nades. Will it all be for nothing? Norbert's on the attempt to the entry again. We've got 2 players down in the water, and Norbert finds his. Axile is able to trade it quick. Perfecto sits back in the corner. Heaven player looks to come out through that smoke, but the bomb plant's still going in regardless. And they can lean back on those half HP bars.
2 players smoked out. They'll have to reroute or boost.
Flit has yet to get on the scoreboard, but will be given the boost over top. Eyes on the Heaven player, catches Perfecto, sprays for the second, but it's James to get the first.
Ну,
Instead,
если...
Axile sits up top, his teammates now chucked to the
Обычно они
wayside, and that's
пишут
Norbert
иногда на
cracking open the bomb
трансляцию. Мне
site
один
with
раз
the 2K,
писали,
and the low
но
HP
это
from
было
those
в том
grenades
году,
doesn't come back to
и
haunt
из-за
the
того, что
event.
я стримил русскую.
James did not matter. Well, that's the slight injustice of the
Нет,
day.
не мог бы. Ну, пока что
There'll
нет.
probably be more
Но
Virtus Pro.
как-нибудь, может быть,
Who knows what else they're going to
попробую.
get away with?
Robbery? Usually.
Robbery, yeah.
I feel like people always say that, you know? Like, why are so many people getting away with robbery nowadays?
And murder.
The majority of murders in America go unsolved, you know?
Yeah.
So,
not just America.
If you're thinking about it, odds are in your favor.
Спасибо.
You ever think about it?
Спасибо, спасибо. Так, ВП взяли тайм-аут. Прошло 4 раунда, они уже берут тайм-аут, уже все такие, типа.
That's the only moral reason.
Yeah.
Road rage.
I respect all humans until they're behind the wheel of a car. Just kidding. Drive safe.
1-3, хорошо. Ну, я лично за ВП.
3-1 lead as VP overwhelmed that
Походу,
B-bomb
по
site. And what's nice
голосованию
is
тут
with even all that
вообще
nade
за
damage,
ВП
I mean,
никто
Cloud9
не
made the
тащит.
right call. They had that B site stacked up. You had 2 water, 1 support, up in heaven.
Все за облако
You're good to
бахают.
go. Plus they were softened
Ну
up,
ладно.
but Norbert hits hard.
Мне интересно, вообще кто-нибудь ставил ставку
Axile the solo M4.
таким кэфом?
While Connector's Molotov, they feel like they've got a little room to wiggle within. Boomich gets found out though.
Ой,
There we go.
бедный
Flip
Boomich.
starting to get
Минус
activated.
бум.
We've really come to expect great things from him in recent months. It was Blubsky who tweeted out earlier today, just talking about like the fundamental core of Virtus.pro and how they are one of the more underrated rifle cores of the entire scene. And I do think they go underappreciated because they don't get the invitations to events like these until 2024.
Ну, удачи, удачи.
Yeah. That and they don't have the top 20 presence besides James. I mean, there was even an argument for him in 2023. It was just because of what you just said.
Yep.
A lot of like online stuff.
Yep. No, they're the masters of their own realm.
The internet.
It's a dark, scary place. That single M4 also looking scary. They didn't check the corner. Pistols coming out. Great spot for the 5-7. Hobbit double. Those
Ловит делать 2,
headshots,
минус
swift,
2.
12 seconds to the
2
clock.
в 3.
How does Bomb get over? Bomb's all the way back in bathrooms. They're not even going to try to play for
2 в
this.
2.
They can do
No,
nothing
play.
unless they get the
Play.
kills.
They
Unless
might
they
get
get
the
the
kills.
frags.
О,
He's
2
got
в
to get
1.
him up from Van. 3 seconds. He's
Инфа
blind.
есть.
Perfecto's dead and VP.
Раунд за
in
ВП.
classic
Хорошо,
fashion.
хорошо.
Win
Прям
a round
молодцы.
like that.
Огонь. ВП вообще
Of course.
красавчики
Electronic in
сейчас.
the interview before said
Наказали
it might come down to like 20
облачко.
seconds. Haha.
Yeah.
Comes down
Белый
to 3
мишка
seconds,
решил
2 seconds.
Oh my god.
отодрать облако.
If he didn't run out of stairs, they literally win. There was no way to plan. But how did they know?
If he's back on dumpster,
Поэтому
it's
пока ничего.
over.
Man,
Но
Aspen
минус
is
2 вообще
beautiful.
хорош прям.
Clean execution. That flash with the play with the 5-7 and the 2 kills. What more do you have to do?
Огонь.
You know, that's the
1-4.
thing. I watch Virtus.pro and I get anxiety sometimes because of the situations they put them in.
Yeah.
But the
Да,
more they play
по-любому
within James' system, surely the
Cloud9
more they
будут
all just
отлетать
keep
на
it
овере.
cool.
Мне так
You
кажется,
know,
лично
no one's
тоже
losing
мое
their heads.
мнение.
There's no panic in that moment.
I think you weren't here for that, but what Fame
Ну,
just
я
said,
буду болеть
or
за
Banks
ВП.
asked
Вы
him,
можете там
what's it like
за
playing
кого
on a team on
болеть.
Virtus.pro? No one
Кто
plays like you
нравится,
guys.
конечно
And
же.
Fame said, I don't really know. It's like regular CS for me. I haven't played with
Также
anyone
не
else.
забываем стрим поддерживать
Regular
лайками,
CS, that's,
подписываться,
that's one way
если
to
вам
put it.
приятно. Мне будет приятно.
Fame really was born in the
А
darkness
вам наверняка не трудно.
of James' unique system.
Jane Bain.
But it worked.
Oh my god.
Опа.
Jame individually
Джейми
as well.
наказал
Bit of a
Бумыча.
beast. We didn't have to see too much of him in VP's debut.
Ну, Бумычу пора просыпаться.
His biggest
что-то
moment
там
yesterday was that 1v3
еще.
he clutched at the last round of T-side because he
Уже
had to.
6-й
Last
раунд
round of a
идет,
half.
а он спит.
Goes for it. And just mangles big.
Yeah, all other things equal, I think the main difference in this matchup is that James is on all these maps. Like he's gonna be able to teach them how to op better. He's gonna out-op the other opper when he needs to. He'll be the difference.
If we ever see one, because so far Boomich not pulling it out. Oh, that's not ideal. Exile pulls a nade out. Mir's frag should catch Electronic. Actually, not that bad. 2 grenades near Electronic, but he holds on. 8 seconds. Again, we're going to do this, huh? Again?
Просто
And
Cloud9
they win again.
отлетают
They just went off a kill.
Huh? Just
за
going to
свои
frag out?
ошибки. Ну,
7
кстати,
seconds
они
left.
делают
Let me press
очень много
W
ошибок,
every
как
time
вот
they
в
run.
Вандере,
Right
чувак.
side, yeah.
Он
never
просто
react how they never
достает,
react.
стреляет, а потом достает гранату. Зачем?
They really do believe it's normal.
I can't. I struggle to believe that.
Да, возможно.
Like, I mean,
Спасибо за
Fame
поддержку.
plays
Спасибо.
so many pugs.
Очень
He
приятно.
sees what non-Jane Counter-Strike is like.
He also didn't used to play like this, yeah.
So
he changed.
He knows. He's seen it, you know?
Yeah.
And yet every day when it's time to practice, he crawls
Чё,
back into the chamber that
облаку пора
is.
просыпаться
We're in Copenhagen, but that is Stockholm syndrome.
и начинать защищаться.
But if it works. You know, I think the beauty of it is that they're willing to lose a round from time to time because of this system, and they still roll with it.
Перетяжка на А,
You know,
Б.
it's,
Like
it's the margin of error. They accept it.
They lose in undignified ways, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, they'll lose a round
yet-
and like we kind of like poke fun of them, like dummies, like hit a bomb site.
But the 70% of rounds they win
Ой, сейчас что-то
are
на
really
лонгу
what
будет.
embarrass you.
Сейчас
Yeah,
будет
they embarrass
интересно.
their opponents.
А, нет, нет, нет.
You know, everybody should be okay with laughing at themselves.
да,
and I feel
да,
like that's a
сейчас будет
fundamental
интересно.
element of playing this style for VP. You gotta be ready to
Есть
look like a
инфа,
fool.
что чекает лонг.
Pistols up
О,
close.
флешка.
Great flash.
Ой, минус.
Bombit again comes through, but this time just one electronic.
Хорошо.
He's
Минус
who
3.
put forth the second. Bomb is down. They've got possession of it. Flit and Norbert are split up. So this is the second time that just a
2 в
couple pocket
4.
pistols have a chance to rob the round away. Last time VP get away by the skin of their teeth. Can they do it once more? Norbert finds timing on the long peak. Flit disengages, but at what cost? 97 damage as he
Мне
falls
кажется,
away.
будет сейф.
Just
Он
depends if
ищет
they want to try
АВП.
to go B.
А ее...
With 20
А, нет, не
seconds,
забрали.
though,
They're saving.
Okay, yeah. There was
Будет
actually a
сейф
chance
от
for them to
Virtus.pro.
try that if they'd like to, but I don't know if there's a
Да,
common
неплохо
player.
было на лонгу, конечно.
So let's sit back and say that's a bit of an awkward situation.
Пойдут ли
With
Cloud9
X-Ray on,
искать их?
Fame clearly
Бумыч,
makes that
машина,
awkward and makes a
побежал
mistake. He should have
искать.
either hid completely for the
На
flash
поиски.
or swung completely to clear out that corner of long. But that's X-Ray on. He didn't actually know there were
Убьют?
people there. He just saw the flash being
Да
thrown
убей.
from so far
Он
away.
с
So
пистиком.
I think
Да
he was
убей.
just trying to stay
Ну,
ready.
нет.
But he sort of slightly turned as well, which just made it weird. I don't think you think about that one too much, but it's nice for Cloud9 to get in the game.
Yeah.
А, что 7-й раунд возьмут?
Do so with some free weapons as well.
Но они не взяли. 5-2.
Yeah.
Но лидирует Virtus.pro.
Like, this wasn't a pop flash from...
Ну погоди, вчера карту смотрели, как играли, как облако против героиков играли, и там тоже 4 раунда героики взяли, потом это единственные раунды, которые взяли. Так что сейчас может облако проснется и начнет. Это будет последнее.
But you've got all the cash of Virtus.pro on the line here in round number 8. Quota secured though. VP 5 rounds T side.
Yeah, that's a really good start. No, I mean, this is very impressive considering Cloud9's form.
That op's posted up.
Так, ВП поджимает бананчик.
Jame on the prowl, but Boomich isn't moving a muscle.
Бумыч затаился.
Can they walk up right on Boomich? Yeah, what the hell?
Минус Бумыч.
A gap.
Флит убивает.
Exile.
Минус Флит.
Gets the trade back at least, but now there's a pocket here, a window of opportunity for VP to just capitalize on a man disadvantage in sight. We get the fast move from Perfecto.
Все. Выход на...
That would never happen to James.
Or excuse me, Hobbit tries to get up into the bomb site. That is a little disjointedness here that's just going to leave the window wide open for VP to crawl through. Norbert plants bomb, 4 versus 3. And Cloud9, they've got to call this quits. Oof.
That was real tricky. I mean, I don't exactly know where the gap came from right there. Boomich could have been inside of the bathrooms to avoid getting shot because Axel can't hold Banana by himself with a rifle because
Хотя 3 в 4, у них полный закуп, могли бы и побороться.
Periodically spot it. So, again, you're going to see moments like that where it's like, how'd that go down? And
причем деньги есть у Перфекта, у Экселя есть. У Бумыча нет бабок. Он все бал. Все бабки потратил.
If somebody on James' team would let him down, let something like that happen.
Yeah, it's like even a sense of timing, you know, of like, okay, maybe it's time to get into bathrooms to hold down the cross on divider. So you have both the inside bathrooms angle and divider, and if someone comes on the outside, they can't get to me without going in front of Axel first, or something like that.
Shame for Cloud9. This one slips through their fingers like that, though, because that was
the
best chance they were going to have at keeping Virtus.pro
Поставьте ваши лайки.
Super successful T side.
Мне приятно, вам не трудно. Давайте добьем, давайте сотку сделаем. 100 лайков, прямо бахнем, нормально навалим.
Jame. Flit. Electronic, Perfecto.
Yep.
Хотя для 300 человек это вообще изи, наверное, соточку поставить. Да не надо спать.
Obviously for his ceiling and what we've seen in the past, that's he's got the highest ceiling.
Давай не будем.
But I'm going to
What do you want to say?
Norbert.
Мне очень приятно.
Yes.
Over Axel.
Because of the 10 players like in this server, he is the prime example of being cut, growing as a player, and coming back better than ever. I've not seen Axel return to form, but I've seen Norbert do it. And that's the kind of mentality and human being that I want as my 5th.
At the beginning of 2022, you said that Grim is a better player than Elish.
I said that Grim was making an argument to be the best American player.
У меня есть прямо охеренная фразочка для победы Cloud9. Если они выигрывают, я эту фразочку скажу. Она прямо...
That was a true statement.
As a statement.
I would not make that statement today.
Окей, сделал потише.
And excuse me, Maui also said Patsy was going to be the best entry fragger of the year.
Maui's not always right.
Okay, everybody
сделал англоязычно
cultural this, cultural that. Maui Snake claimed Patsy was going to be number 1 entry.
Не надо спамить, братан. Все, я сделал ее.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good standard for you, Connor.
You know,
братан, я тебя кикнул.
We call that a deflection. Axel trying to deflect these nades, not going to happen. They find him. He thought maybe he'd get cheeky, but zoned by the Molotov, forced into the smoke. They pop it open with a frag grenade. That's CS2, baby. Axel didn't have a damn chance. Cloud9, their chance is getting thinner as we go 7-2. The unstoppable force that is Virtus.pro.
Ну, я думаю, да, будет такое, что не будет двух карт, будет 3. И Инферно зарешает все.
The history of Banana, and it's such a great time capsule for the whole meta of utility usage on the map. Great way to learn, because like I always think like new viewers look at Inferno and see Banana and they think, wow, that's a complete mess. Like there's no thought process.
Yeah, sure.
Explains this.
А, да это я не тебе, нет, я не тебе, а я прок-гейм, чтобы он не писал, сделай англоязычную озвучку потише, пожалуйста. Много раз. Я вижу все прекрасно. Я читаю чат. Спасибо. Спасибо всем, кто подписался, кто поставил лайки. Вы вообще просто машина. Просто. Кто не поставил, тому во сне приснится Бумыч. Понятно? Представьте, вам Я даже представить не могу это. Ну... Да не, погоди, он еще... Он просто не проснулся еще. Сейчас он... Ну, на стуле он реально поплыл. Он просто расслабился, лег. Комфортно, чтобы себе играть. Но он сейчас, подожди. Оверпас по-любому будет за вертусами, а Нубис за облаком. Это по-любасу. И Инферно решит все. Да, привет, Андрей. Привет. 28 лямов. Слушай, тогда я не против, чтобы Бумыч мне приснился и потратил 28 лямов, хотя бы во сне.
2/3 of VP are currently negative in their kill death, despite winning 7-2. But this is what VP do, right? They put rounds on the board.
Yeah.
They don't always dominate you on the scoreboard in terms of kills and deaths, but it's the round count at the top of the screen that really matters most.
This flash play has worked out really well for VP the last couple of times. And
nobody shoots.
Nobody's watching the corner of this lurk smoke. This is really important to try to clear this, and they didn't get full.
Ну, Андрей, у каждого свои предпочтения. Так, выход ВП, выход ВП на Б.
Frag grenade softens both, and Fame's gonna find a headshot. Electronic double kill.
1-2.
Much needed frag then and there. If James can clear him, that'd be
О, электроника убирает просто Джейми. Просто наказал его.
And the sharpest rifle stands tall.
And we saw that yesterday, that in a team full of great players and Boomich in like top form, Electronic
Андрюх, ты пугаешь в чат, ты пишешь.
Still the best by far.
Да нет, пока не пугает.
Yeah, statistically leaps and bounds above the rest in the last 3 months. He really carried them single-handedly to a few of their runs towards the tail end of 2023, and then when we saw him taper off at like
ладно, Андрюх, все нормально.
there was no success for Cloud9 to talk about. So nice to see him topping the charts for C9 as this CT side continues to try and fight. 5 rounds, best case scenario. At least they've got guns back in.
Для кого-то Бумыч вообще краш.
Solo Fame setup here towards Playgrounds. It's
так, тем временем у нас 3-7. Виртуса ведут. Ой-ой-ой, двое сразу отлетают. Трое отлетают. У облаков. А, чисто двое на Б. И выход будет под Б, кстати.
They wanted an A play right there. They had 3 CTs ready to punish an A default, and yet they didn't come up with a single kill. And look at this, VP are going to make it as hard as possible. They'll run into the remaining 2 players.
How kind of them to give Cloud9 a chance. Electronic will
По одному есть инфа.
give him an opportunity. Perfecto peeks out, can't manage a second, so it's all Electronic. They know where he's at, and Flit will find the last frag.
8-3 раунд за ВП. Давайте, ВП, тащите. Тащите просто. Ну, я лично за ВП, ребят. Но по голосованию должны победить Cloud9.
mythical beast, that James. Some call him Father Time.
They just made Cloud9 look like a bad team this half.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I mean, Cloud9 trying to make a play, right?
Yeah.
Looking to be inspired. Missed shot from Boomich. MP9, though, has a chance to exit into short. We've got support inside connector. Flit. This is a pretty important fight.
Minus
win it straight up. Doesn't even have to commit to the doorway. Can just keep Hobbit stuck between two. Not that they
Ой-ой-ой, в спину заходит.
It's got something going.
Хорош. Хоббит вообще красава.
Doesn't let things get weird. He continues to try to press out versus Flit, who's decided to go back up and around on ladder.
Разочарован во мне, а из-за чего? Из-за того, что я за ВП болею. Ну, я не против, можешь пойти на другой стрим, если хочешь.
Back to the hands of Cloud9, and he got Flit down to 50 HP.
Ooh, what's the interesting play that they can make here? I mean, I don't know if
Нет, то, что я как-то, мол, за ВП, ладно. То, что я за ВП, ты разочарован за то, что я за ВП, ладно, я не против, братан, иди на другой стрим. А если тебе просто вайп не нравится, то да, я очень расстроен этому. Ой, а как все поменялось-то? 3 в 1. Cloud9. Ну чё? Джейми, сейви иди на следующую пистолетку. Хорош! Уф! 1 в 1. Остался Хоббит. Но Хоббит чекает. Флэш. Ой, а был близок Джейми, просто был, реально. Близок, просто, вы посмотрите. Просто не попал. Игра реально красивая. Почему? Да, ну, фиг знает. Просто мне белые мишки нравятся, поэтому я за ВП. Но ситуация реально была крутая, прямо вообще. Пушка просто. Он так-то мог вытащить этот раунд и сделать 9-3, но нет. Но он красавчик. Поясни. Ну, просто, я говорил, что мне белые мишки нравятся. Белые мишки. Ребят, пока... Растешь, смотрю. Арсений Нойко. Да, спасибо, расту. Ну, мне самому приятно, что люди на стриме пишут, мы общаемся, это клево, мы смотрим вместе турнир. Это реально вайб. Приятно то, что люди поддерживают. Да погоди, погоди. Чего? Еще непонятно. Ну, голосованием показывает, что облако по-любому выиграет. Так, ребят, давайте догоним до 100-очки. Отметочку мне нравится. Уф, уф. Я не смотрел... Мажор мне не удалось посмотреть. Что думаешь по Амкалу? Амкал неплохо в футболе. Захожу к ним на канал, смотрю их видосики. Мне нравится. Последний видос я, наверное, смотрел, где там у них драка была. Это было прикольно. Неплохой матч был. Второй, правда, видос, где я болею за ВП. Я болею за ВП. О, Бумыч вчера вообще красавчик. -3 под конец игры дал. Вообще на Анубисе. Просто раскатал. Как бог. Мне прямо понравился очень этот момент. Ну, походу на стриме люди ВП вообще не любят. Я не понимаю, почему вы все голосуете за облако, что облако выиграет. 346 голосов. 80% ставят на победу облака. Я знаю про какой... Я знаю, что у Амкала есть... А у Амкала ведь это на мажоре команда была. Не будет голосования заново, она будет до конца.
Definitely up there. And so as they get 8 rounds on their T side, we get these sprinkled in success stories from Cloud9 here and there, including a big round from Hobbit to close out the half. His impact from connector certainly felt, but
ну, я тебе могу объяснить. Вот эту карту по-любому берут ВП, вторую карту берут облако, а третью там уже 50 на 50. Сейчас посмотрим. А, взяли раунд? Подождите. 4-8, вот пистолетка.
James gets to show us how it's done. Okay, the op on CT overpass.
Again, we just
What the hell was he doing? Just scratching his shoulder?
Ну что, давайте смотрим. Так. ВП все на Б почти стоят, один только на банане. Походу будут играть по инфе. Ой-ой-ой, все, он заметил двоих, минус 2 точно он заметил. Минус 3, троих точно замечает. Перетяжка идет на А. И сейчас Cloud9 будет выходить в Б. Да, все, вот через кон идут.
Meta.
They're cheap. Henry and Andrew's talking about that as well.
Yep.
Andrew's proposing everyone gets a decoy for free.
Это будет выход Б.
Very dangerous statement, I think.
Dual Berettas on this position could go huge. Norbert lets him rip. Yep. Oh,
Норбер, просто разносит.
Unarguably canceled out of round 13.
Остался один перфекта.
That was 4 players charging into the bomb site. They didn't even get a frag. Fame took the brunt of the damage. Mir will be chipped away at. Perfecto, I think you call it quits here, buddy. Go save that Kevlar. Because best case, you get a bomb plant with 4 players.
Все понял, Денис.
Not feeling likely.
Завершает стрим, ребят. Все, всем понятно. ВП выиграли.
Norbert lets him know what's about to happen. Them Berettas looking hungry. But he better die before the time expires. 2 kills. All right.
You know what?
You can.
I'm gonna agree with you about the Norbert. So the full team would have been James, Electronic,
Ставка выиграна. Поздравляю.
Flit
and Norbert as a 5th. And you know, it seems like heresy to say how could you take him over Axel, who was top 5 last year, whatever. But he hasn't made that recovery like you pointed out. No one's gonna play support on the team, and Axel certainly won't. And Axel has not been consistent enough to be a star player. He has not been consistent
такой он показал. Хорошо.
Since the end of 2021.
Хорошо.
He is.
Так, 9-4.
He is somebody who has really big brand value, and it's still so early in his career that you expect.
Опять выход под Б, пистолетка.
Maybe it won't magically happen.
Yep. I think it's just a testament to this whole formula that James and Dostan gave Norbert, right? They told him why he was getting cut.
Мы сейчас смотрим Cloud9, как бы они играют так, разминка это у них, понимаете? Они понимают, что дальше Анубис, и они его берут. По-любому.
Why cut them and never bring them back? That's a lot of effort. And some people just need a second chance. This bomb plant denied.
Не дали патьку поставить. Хорош, флит. Ну, чисто красиво сработали.
But can you get behind that? Like, I wish more teams would invest time and energy into up-and-coming players, and if they don't have it right out of the gate, put them back. You know, put them back in the flower pot.
We could have had 10s in CS:GO.
Пацаны, я вообще в ставках не шарю. Что такое тотал, я даже, наверное, не знаю. Для меня слово тотал это что-то новое.
Twist was a good example of that. Like a lot of pro players didn't like playing with Twist in his early days when he was like the up-and-coming pug player.
Okay.
You could see the uncut gem, right? And in the player that he is now, looking
Боже
back,
мой.
a lot of players around him didn't see that, and if they
Ему Бару привет.
And if he wasn't able to play on Team Liquid, we wouldn't have had 2019. Okay.
Never forgetty.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very true.
But like, you know, all that time and improvements, and you see the player that Twist grew into while playing for Liquid.
Так не возьмут они 9 раундов на этой карте. На этой точно не возьмут.
What have we done? We built a monster. It's going to play against us. You know, and now that he's come back to Team Liquid, well, luckily all that phase time actually ends up maybe paying off for them.
Хотя за эту сторону могут и напрячься и взять.
Like Sumdai Young on Team Spirit was just there for so long. Players that become synonymous with certain organizations. But look what happens. SDY leaves Spirit. Look what he's done for Monty.
Another great example.
It's a great story for Monty and a team that definitely benefits, but Spirit are the ones that invested all that time of Chopper's, you know, kind of guidance.
Все, я понял, мне объяснили уже. Спасибо, Бахти.
And now,
Бахти.
For the time being,
Бахти.
Who's the better team?
Ты же хотел уйти, братан. Ты хотел уйти, кинуть меня за то, что я за ВП. Но я за ВП до сих пор. Поэтому... Да не, ВП огонь, ВП просто молодцы. Бумыч, минус Бумыч. Минус перфекта. Хоббит добил все-таки. Хорошо. Остался Хоббит один. Сейчас он позовет Гендальфа. А, Гендальф не придет.
I was not ready for James to stop it, to deny a refrag at divider versus 2 AKs on a full strength buy.
Так, Норберт сейчас найдет Хоббита и походу его убьет. Все. Не, я не выгоняю, вообще никого не выгоняю. Ты прикинь, для меня, вот я сейчас сижу, меня смотрят там сколько-то, 300 человек, я просто в шоке от этого. Нет, тут допов не будет, нет. Тут будет победа. ВП, ребят. Минус 2 просто. Хорошо, молодец. Но вот Анубис будет жаркий. А если облако заберут, проиграет Анубис, это будет вообще просто фейл. Реально надо стримить турниры. Надо как-то понять, типа, как можно добиться того, чтобы официально их стримить. Ведь вы как-то где-то меня нашли, зашли и смотрите.
I'll never bet on my own death.
I'm never gonna die. Father time comes for us all.
I've been doing a lot of cardio lately.
James will come knocking. If you heard a knock at the door, you look through the peephole.
Бласта увидел стрим мой. Прикиньте, сейчас на официальном сайте Blast я сижу такой.
Pretend like you're not home, but he knows.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Да.
C9 have a very open route towards this A site, but because VP didn't get the rush they had stacked B for, again, internal timing of Virtus.pro is usually to a T.
Все понял. Ну, надеюсь, что после этого стрима меня не забанят. Ну, хотя меня не могут не забанить, мне просто могут дать страйк.
Cloud9 will not be enough to keep VP off of 12. We really do have to have a conversation about Virtus.pro being the best overpass team in the world.
They have had some really great maps, and I think in the
ну все, я понял. Спасибо, ребят, спасибо, что объясняете. Очень приятно, что вы зашли ко мне на стрим. И надеюсь, вас не разочаровываю, что я болею за ВП. Ну что, я думаю, что это сейчас 12-4.
2 zeros out the wazoo.
Yeah.
Just blowout maps. Henry G finally gets a day with no overtime.
He's the most cursed caster in terms of how long.
Блин. Так, пойду переобуюсь. Так, давай облако, тащи.
Yeah, cave dwelling.
Ну, если мне дадут, то я вообще буду на 7-м небе от счастья. Буду визжать.
Probably try to tattoo you.
Да я даже, понимаешь, фишка в том, что я не комментирую, так, поддакиваю иногда. Ну, не знаю, Никит, не знаю.
35, by the way.
It's 33 health, actually.
Oh. Well, that's enough for Flit.
Забудешь тут.
VP just 4 steps ahead of the game every single time. Look at Cloud9. They're scared, Mo. They know they've been outclassed on this map. They have categorically lost this game.
Нет, облако столкнулось с мощным медведем, который неплохо дует. Но есть фразочка, прямо вот мощная. Я ее прям заготовил для этого стрима. Если Cloud9 побеждает Virtus.pro, я ее говорю. Она прямо на цитаты можно разносить.
A losing game. Oh, unfortunate there for Perfecto.
Right, like all these things have just gone so well for VP. We've got Flit, Fame, and James at the top of the board. That trio, in and of itself, can win games. And when Norbert and Mir have done such a good job at either offering frags or not dying, there has been
по-моему, нельзя ставки ставить. У них же так же, как в футболе. ВП. Первая карта за ВП, ждем Анубис. Ребят, классно. Очень красивая игра от ВП. Неплохая игра от Cloud9. Так что ждем вторую карту. А пока... Не буду. Фразу говорить не буду, ребята. Эта фраза прямо вот... Я долго думал, стоит ли ее вообще говорить. Просто могут обидеться. Болельщики ВП могут обидеться на такую фразу. Но... Давайте добьем 25 лайков, ребят. Ну уже не 25, это старая информация. Давайте добьем до соточки, всего-то 18, поддержим. И пока послушайте напарника, комментатора англоязычного, я пойду быстренько. Я отойду на пару минут и вернусь. Увидимся на Анубисе.
They win overpass. It's like Groundhog Day, time and time again. How long does it continue? Because surely, at some point, someone is going to go, hold on, we need to stop this now.
Yeah, I mean, for one day, they will probably lose that overpass. But for now, and for the last couple of months, they have been proving everybody wrong. They can watch as many demos as they want. They can watch everything. They don't care. They just play their game, and people don't get enough rounds on the C side. They get 8. Like, 8 is so hard on one of the hardest maps on the T side.
How do you get more rounds, though, if you're going up against them?
If I knew, I would be worth a lot of money.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But I mean, you've watched enough, and obviously now you've crossed over from professional player to analyst. And on the analyst side, you obviously know everything, and you're the best, and you're the smartest. That's how it works. We all know. So if you were to lecture all the players, how would you beat Virtus.pro?
I mean, I think we have some interesting rounds why they are good and why you potentially could beat them. I think firepower is the number one. You simply have to show up individually, and if you don't do that, they're simply going to have too much structure in individual plays to counter you.
That was sarcasm, by the way, about the analyst thing. I'm well aware that his brain is giant, and we're going to be picking on it a little bit. When you take a look at what we just saw, though, on Overpass, were there any moments, I think, because I like to be able to show the viewers, and you like to break it down as to what exactly you need to be looking out for when you're watching Virtus.pro play, potentially to learn and get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's some of the plays they do is going to be really interesting for you to look at because it's so easy and so basic. I think we have a round where I want to show it's not even the deepest playbook they do. They do the long default, they get the initial control. Many teams do this, but James is so used to holding these angles, gets the initial first kill, and then they know, okay, now we need to press the pedal down, and then they go for the execute. They do it so well. The Molotov here, they break it with the nade, they force him out. He's without chance, and then it's a fully retake, and they're obviously not going to go for that one.
How do you prep for this style if you're Virtus.pro? I mean, is this just 10 hours a day?
You can't let them go to the executing phase. That's the thing. When you play Overpass, there's phase 1, where you have to take party and all these places. And then there's phase number 2, which is toilets. If you can counter them in that position, it's going to be way easier, but they weren't able to do that.
It feels like no team's actually able to do it
No,
just yet.
and we try to make the conversation around someday or someone should be able to read the minds of Virtus.pro, but for now it's still a hard task.
It is a hard task. I really believed in Cloud9. This is why I'm not an analyst, because I went hard on the Cloud9 can do it, and they can't. No one can. That is what is happening. On the side of Cloud9, yesterday, Boomich came in, and he was epic. We have some highlights just to show you how fantastic Boomich was yesterday.
I mean, he was the difference maker in many of the rounds. Heroic played a decent game on overpass, but they lost so many clutches, and it was due to this guy and Perfecto. They played lights out, and they made it really difficult for Heroic to get anything going.
Why was he able to do as much as he did? Was it because it was just a weaker opponent, would you say, because Heroic gave him space?
I think he's very much of a confident player, because he plays this initial style that reminds me a little bit of Kerrigan. He's so up in their face, goes through the smokes, he's not really afraid to make an unorthodox play, but when it goes bad for him, it also looks really bad, which it did today.
When you talk about today, yeah, I mean, you say bad, we've got highlights. They're highlights. They're a whole highlight package of Boomich. It's coming up right now from what we just saw on Overpass. And obviously, again, some more sarcasm. A whole 2 kills.
And it even starts in the pistol. A rough day at the office for Boomich. I mean, he's obviously known as one of the in-game leaders that can actually kill people pretty often, but this was not the case in this game.
He can kill people twice in the map.
Yeah, and one of them was the pistol. That's actually brutal. Such a confidence hit going into the second map, and especially when you're going to be the focus point for map number 2, which is going to be Anubis.
Do you think that also played a role in the fact that Cloud9 was struggling so much? Because I think that if Boomich is not firing, we saw this yesterday when, like you said, momentum, when he's like super happy and he's getting those kills and he's doing those big moments, the team seems more confident. It's almost like the moment Boomich couldn't get where he needed, the rest of the team fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel when an IGL is faking that he has confidence. I remember playing with Glaive, he even told me, if I don't have a good game, it's going to be more rough to get those good plans and have real confidence that it's going to happen. So I think that was the same case for Boomich.
Let's wrap this one up when you take a look at Overpass. Do you think that Virtus.pro is just so damn good that Cloud9 couldn't find an answer, or did Cloud9 just not deliver what they needed to?
They didn't deliver on the CT side. You can't allow Virtus.pro to get that much space on an Overpass, and 8 rounds is simply too much.
They do have another opportunity, though, to make it happen. We're going to Anubis right after this.
Здравствуйте. Мистер Мияги. Здравствуй. А зачем ты оскорбляешь, братан? Ну, если тебе не нравится, ты можешь выйти и смотреть. Боже мой. Какой ты душный, братан. Ну, просто захотелось поболтать с ребятами. А что? Так, в принципе, я могу просто тебя сейчас забанить или удалить. Но я думаю, что ты адекватный чувак, и ты просто возьмешь и извинишься за свои грубые слова. Ну, я не все могу матчи комментировать. Тем более я тебе сказал, где искать эту трансляцию на русском языке. Она есть на Твиче. Ты можешь спокойно зайти на Twitch и смотреть там. Что мешает? Время мое мешает, например. Я не всегда могу сидеть за компьютером. Только вечером.
In the regional rivalry, Virtus.pro currently leads after winning on Overpass, but we now move to Anubis 2 months ago. Cloud9.
И когда ты искал тебе, я же тебе и написал, что поищи на Твиче, что там, возможно, ты ее найдешь. Я к тебе отнесся очень хорошо. А ты мне тут в данный момент пишешь какие-то нелепые, глупые оскорбления.
I think they simply have a better roster to play it.
Why do you think that this roster works so well?
Ну, мы не будем сейчас выяснять, какой я работой занимаюсь, чем я, где я работаю. Ну, в данный момент ты ведешь себя не очень корректно.
Do you think Cloud9 copes though after that loss? They were so confident coming into this. They really believed they had VP's number.
I've also lost games 13-1 and I've said confident shit before a game, but it's how the balls rolls.
It's the PR response, right? You also have to. I'm going off topic now. Here as a player.
Ну, я и так делаю.
In the history of Counter-Strike.
Да, ну, он просто. Я не обижаюсь, но нужно вести себя культурно. Чё, бумыч со своими 2 киллами на Верпасе пока что не сильно блистает, но я думаю, что на Анубисе он покажет не минус 2, а больше. Поэтому смотрим.
Cloud9 obviously feels confidence on Anubis. It's why they've picked
Спасибо,
it.
спасибо.
What are you expecting from them?
Сначала оскорбил, теперь подписку поставил. Ну ладно, нормально, все, забыли, чувак. Я не из таких, которые будут тебя сейчас банить. Вчера Бумыч, да, показал свое мастерство, особенно на Анубисе.
I'm curious to see what Virtus.pro brings to the table because
реально грязь разводил прямо. Ну там были не ВП, ребят, поэтому непонятно еще. Там были...
Really miserable, they're really down, they give one-word interviews. Here at the group stages, I haven't seen this. Virtus.pro smiling. They are making eye contact with most people. They want to talk, they want to chat. There seems to be a
я также напоминаю, все равно все голосуют, что победит Cloud9. И до 100 лайков нам осталось всего 7. Поэтому давайте поднакинем, поднапряжемся и поставим.
Is VP able to adapt their playstyle on Anubis if Cloud9
Бля, чувак, ты вообще красавчик. Дом поставил на Cloud9.
I hope VP will transition into a better team, and by that they need a bigger map pool. So Anubis here is the first step for sure.
They've been playing a lot, and I know if you speak to them, they'll tell you it's been like probably Cloud9 said they're doing 12-hour days. I'm pretty sure VP is doing 12 as well.
1-0 ВП выигрывает.
2024 is the year of a deeper map pool for them.
I mean, if they're practicing so much, they probably need to let go of the overpass practice. They have it.
Stop playing overpass. Give us something new.
Yeah, I mean, but it's gonna be equally boring mostly on
Нет, в России YouTube не заблокирован. Можно.
Do you think that they are going to do this at 2-0 to obviously wrap up our thoughts as we move into Anubis, or is it going to 3 maps?
I still think Cloud9 has the quality that they need for going for 3 maps here.
YouTube в России работает нормально, только без рекламы.
Yeah, let's find out, shall we? I think that when it comes to Virtus.pro and Cloud9 and how many hours they're putting in practice, the thing is that James has more than 24
Так, следующая карта у нас Anubis, 1-0 в пользу ВП. Ну, смотрим. Да, плюсы есть. Я ребенку мультики теперь на ютубе врубаю.
Yeah, so you can sleep for 16 hours and then
whatever he
eat
wants.
For 4 hours, read some books, and still play CS for 16 hours.
What do you think about this?
I think this is
Жара?
clear, yeah.
Сейчас, погоди, еще там немножко и начнется.
Now we're talking about 3-1, because VP were so good on overpass. Yeah, it's true. Cloud9.
Сейчас ВП начнет раздавать облачку.
For sure. For Cloud9 on map 2.
Yeah.
But is better good enough?
Well, I think it's good enough to get the game competitive, because when we started this series, what we praised about C9 yesterday were their absolutely fluid
Нет, у меня нету.
retakes and clutch ability that we
не начнет, хорошо.
Those retakes were phenomenal. I mean, the utility usage in the retakes, the timing, nobody was getting caught with a nade in hand. Everybody had guns up, ready to go for C9. So when this game gets tight, when Cloud9 do step it up from overpass...
Нет, этот матч не на вылет. Кто проиграет, тот играет. Сейчас скажу с кем. Блин, сейчас я скажу. Позже скажу, разберем это.
So, let's find out. It's a spot in the group final. Ooh, on the line.
Воу. Ну вот и все. Перфекто сразу вырубает Норберт.
Any decibels in this round. Just one silent USP shot to the dome.
But of course, in classic VP fashion, no one panics. No one gets crazy. And James got a sea of utility here to set this one up. Double frag grenades as well. Curious where that ends up going. Possibly for a post plant. Flash to jail. Nobody else taking off the play. Boomich and Hobbit, though, given great chances to take fights on the left side of Obelisk. They know Flitz over on jail, so he's just going to try to keep the bomb plant. A little consolation prize, considering this pistol's not going the best for VP. We talked about their retakes, and this is a 5v3. So all should be good for Cloud9. Should be. Frag grenades have been thrown out, softened up CTs. Flit's gonna connect to the first one. Mir has his second. This would be a 3v5 in the post plant. And Jane connects through smoke on Boomich.
1-2 diffuse.
Now he starts to deal more damage, but Perfecto is sticking this 10-second. Down to now 3.
Ой-ой-ой, прошил.
Perfecto 10-second stick, he gets it, and another kill. 4 frags for Perfecto. I think he only shot 4 bullets that round. That was clean.
Love that.
Победители, сейчас скажу.
That headshot on Axel, he knows he's got to run
Сейчас я посмотрю, с кем играть будут победители. Ой, спасибо за донат. Спасибо.
Yeah, seriously.
Очень приятно.
Nasty from Perfecto.
What the? Did we just teleport?
Сейчас скажу, с кем будут играть победители.
Yeah, that was a rift, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's James, when James around,
back
man.
To a VP highlight, like how'd that work? Is it's
the time wizard.
So the quantum particles are just under VP's control.
Пока не скажу, с кем будут играть. Пока не скажу. Давайте смотрим. Минус на миду.
Electronic gets caught in transit.
We got Axile in the corner jumping out to help, but Boomich got the job done. It's losing camera and the A site that causes a problem. Oh, Perfecto looks so
clean with pistol,
but dies out to Norbert. As bomb will not be denied. Norbert's got a little control.
They still have one so late on bridge.
Caught. Nicely done by Axile.
3v3.
Hobbit right here. Oh,
Flick gets
minus Hobbit.
Control of the Galil. So now Boomich on 20 HP is not ideal, but he will still bring one with him. We've got James down to 6 health, sitting on the site.
Wait,
Flick needs to be supportive, and James just doing a great job of getting away, but he can't run forever. Such little health on both these players. You know Flick could end them. And it's Axile with the kit, down to 2 seconds. Flit's got a swing, gets the diffuser off, but it can be picked back up, and there's still enough time.
Успеет, все. 2-0. Бумыч с одним хп затаскивает. Красавчик. Сразу понятно, что карта для Бумыча. Да. Он уже все, он уже оправдал себя на Анубисе.
post plant position where they were so late coming up bridge. They had all these players on site spread out in awkward positions. They made that difficult for Cloud9 to try to figure out. But what do we get?
А вот как вы считаете вообще, Анубис это карта для КТ или для тьеров больше? Кто как считает?
Maybe they have a way to capture sand from the Time Wizard.
Can't do it. Norbert on the assault. Ooh, perfecto. Back-to-back rounds.
Ну, значит, у ВП есть шансы, пацаны.
How crazy does Hobbit want to get?
Ой, пачку ставят. Ой, горит.
That'll deny Mir's bomb plant and a push out from Temple, but it's a one and done from Axile. There is still that problematic dark player in Hobbit.
4 в 3.
They could just throw the bomb over, but they choose to cross. A critical mistake. Fame exposed to Hobbit now. No more smoke for him to really work with. He's got his own.
Stay alive, not die in this spot, because they can all plant for his position. I don't know. He's being pretty active.
Stuck in the corner. Electronic presses up along the wall, and Electronic even gets Norbert off the bomb.
Пачку не дали поставить. 1 в 3.
From a 3v3 to a 1v3, and then they smoke off James. Holy hell, Cloud9, it's not a retake, but they've managed to just push VP back out of the site.
That's the thing that even
Все, он уходит сейвить. Джейми сейвит.
Because they don't have the bomb down. We saw Cloud9.
Третий раунд за облаком. Ну нет, на самом деле я прям хочу посмотреть Инферно. Очень. Вообще, Инферно это моя любимая карта. У меня пул карт Ancient, Anubis, Vertigo и Инферно. Я ненавижу вообще Мираж. Мне прямо он не нравится. Нюк. Нюк чисто так. Раз в год захожу на него так, поиграть.
That helps. Sometimes you don't need to have 5 players on a retake. That can actually just be too much overlap.
А, вообще любимая карта Dust 2.
The post plant spots become too overwhelming. So sometimes it's easier to just go low numbers.
К сожалению, на этот вопрос я не могу ответить.
I think Flit also falls victim to his decision to just try to cross the open lane. Like just crossing in front of long. That's a spot you can chuck the bomb. You can do it safely without exposing yourself. And had you done that, that's one extra set of
звание или рейтинг у меня? Да, ну Dust 2 играю для разминки, а так в основном рейтинг. Мираж говно карта. Поддерживаю тебя.
They were softening up all of Heroic's approach to the site yesterday with that. VP gets a taste of it as well.
Так рейтинг играю в основном. Фейсит редко тоже играю.
Not so great yesterday actually. He was on B site. Like retakes ended up being good. And he was good as a rotator, but not so much as an anchor.
Yeah, it felt like the best A defense was actually coming out of Boomich and his off. But Axile, little jiggle, catches Flit and sees 2 more. So numbers confirmed. VP outside of the A site. They got nothing.
Ну что-то у ВП здесь очень все плохо. 3-0. Ну, просто я расстроен. Очень. Перетяжка под Б будет. Либо будут сейвить.
So while Virtus.pro are down a man and using 2 pistols in this 4v5.
Потому что денег...
C9.
Ну, у Джейми нет вообще денег.
And honestly, a B flank here just ends any chance of Virtus.pro winning the round if they decide to push. This is one of those rounds where VP could actually just call it quits. If they're not feeling it, if nobody kind of opens the door for them. You know, they'll keep an eye on it up until the final 5 seconds, but look at this long flank. Look how much this just
Выход на Б.
One of the guns goes down. They're going to have to try to burn the smoke, and everybody just gets messed up.
Просто на изи раскатали.
C9 being steps ahead of VP. And it is not easy to get steps, multiple, ahead of this team.
Yeah, that was containment. And that's again what C9 were. I mean, they're just good on all fronts. They've been trying to make this Anubis thing.
Да.
Like, they've been trying to become
Это я и хотел бы тоже сказать.
Period. And there have been moments where you see it. Yesterday was one of those moments.
Oh, since the inception of this, you know, including the 2 Navi players of Electronic and Perfecto, it's just been...
Вчера вот я смотрел игру, Heroic и Cloud9, и Heroic вроде вообще на миду не стояли. Тут хоть Cloud9 кто-то стоит на миду, причем на миду стоит челик с А. На А стоит всегда один у них. И то он в перемычке стоит.
The activity from Cloud9 on the CT side. You love to see it. Got one player stuck on the wall though. Electronic holds his ground.
Mention хорошая карта, да.
That is one difference making position right now is that if you're not playing for bridge on CT side, it will be used against you. But you see that.
Да что творит перфекто? Просто -2 делает. Сейчас делает -3, смотрите. -3 будет. А, нет, он отошел. Хоббит, чекает. Хорош! Ну просто красивая игра. Просто.
And he really kind of kept the team afloat for a little while. He was actually like the highest rated player for a bit.
Да, они как-то на время играют больше. Они думают, что подпушивать будут, хотя сейчас вот Cloud9 подпушивал. Перфекто вообще, -2 делал очень красиво. Вертига топ, но минус вертига всю карту слышно везде просто. Ты просто, если стоишь на миду, ты знаешь, куда бегут теры. На А или на Б. Там эта решетка перед... Как он, блядь? Перед рампой на выход А. Она прямо такую инфу дает КТ. Особенно, когда там все бегут, топают по ней. Кэш хорошая карта была. Мне очень тоже нравилась. Но ее, по-моему, нету. Ну чё, ВП, давайте хоть один раунд, что ли, для приличия возьмем. Бумыч уже 4-1. Хорош. Единственный, кто один раз умер. Ну, бывают, да, такие, которые падают с крыши. А еще бывают команды, когда ты играешь на вертига, ну... Мы играем все время фуллстаком. Да, это карта Бумыча. Играем фуллстаком, и последние секунды забегают. Они сначала забегут на Б, потом забегут на А, потом опять на Б, потом так. И, короче, аж вот это бесит прямо. Бегаешь как дурак, перетягиваешься налево-направо. На А, на Б. И потом проябываешь эту карту. Бумыч-то, что творит этот парень?
Any success that they've had in getting into B
просто наказывает.
Dark in these first 6 rounds.
He who solves CT Anubis owns Anubis.
Get to work.
Ну чё, будут искать его.
Oh, that made him look very lonely.
Он затаился. Хотя у них хака.
There you go.
Он будет пытаться что-то делать. И просто погибает.
Six round straight here from C9. Looking rock solid on their map pick of Anubis.
Ну с таким счетом, знаете, скажу так. ВП хотя бы 1-2 раунда пусть возьмут. Я буду радоваться. Хотя бы.
Favorite type of rock. I actually
not very well versed.
Let me try. I'll go with volcanic.
Oh, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Very porous.
Yeah, porous rock. Yeah, it's got holes in it.
Speaking of pores,
you can like scrub yourself with it, right?
Yeah, in the sauna actually.
So, okay, what's yours?
None of your business.
Okay.
Limestone. Because we're on Anubis.
Well, you said rock, not stone, so.
Ooh, not today, buddy.
Вот, я думаю, вот это момент, когда сейчас ВП возьмут карту. Вот. Все, сейчас ВП берут. Первый раунд свой, наверняка. Я надеюсь. 5 в 4.
VP still haven't finished their
Можно сказать, что
breakfast
5-3.
at a minute 20. Good Molotov placement. That'll force Flit off his preferred spot. And again, feels like Dark is kind of closed for the time being. Another one.
Не дают выйти
Flit
ВП.
will patiently wait.
Не дают. Я, да, за ВП. Я за ВП, ребят. Ну, я сразу же, когда стрим начался, я сказал, что я за ВП. Но я не ставил ставки, просто мне нравится ВП. Просто Cloud9 решили пойти на А, отпустить Б. И Virtus.pro выходит на Б. И бумыч идет с КТ. А, нет, Cloud9 сейвит. Будут выбивать дроп. Мне так кажется, они не пойдут. Нет, не пойдут. Все. Сейвит. Бумыч точно не пойдет, ему счет 6-1. Красивый. Он не хочет его портить. Перфекта вообще надо бежать на другую часть карты.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is they're down a player, so they might have gamble stacked because they just weren't sure.
Не умереть.
I just don't know.
Ура!
Yeah. I mean, worst case.
Все, это камбэк, пацаны.
$9,000. Cloud9 are in a great place to just keep the round wins coming. But yeah,
that was an aberration. I really have no idea.
Сейчас ВП начнет делать грязь.
Never do with these guys.
I wonder if VP is confused.
Да, я видел эту игру. Это была интересная игра. Как ФЗ отлетели. А Виталики как отлетели от Астралис. Вроде как, да, от Астралис. Хотя ОГ они просто там кукую нагнули. Спириты разочаровывают. Ну, что поделаешь. Итак, счет 6-1.
3 players inside of the site. Going for Dark off the flash. Another one. But again, Dark control has just remained in Cloud9's hands round after round. Also, don't forget, last round it was the 5v4 given away by Axile, just going for a solo outer A push. So I feel like Cloud9 will retract a little bit.
How are they not playing mid at all? Oh no, they've got at least electronic spotting camera with it. A stack, but they're playing a very, very passive setup that they're going to get split on the weaker site now because they're gambling A again.
And Electronic has been out by the doors a couple of times.
They should be playing for info this round. I think this is a very strange thing to do for Cloud9. It's as if they're losing or they have an economic problem, but they have an op and they've...
And that A site's not moving, man.
Yeah, they're playing without mid even though they didn't really get pushed out of it, so...
Boomic's gonna have to do it, but Flashbang's fantastic from Fame. Hobbit's gonna have to go above and beyond as his teammates try to scramble over. Jail Peak gets through, just like that. Virtus.pro back to back.
Ой-ой-ой, это походу второй раунд, который берут ВП.
Trickle-down effect of being 6-0 up on Virtus.pro. You know, you do start to psych yourself out.
Ну, я не думаю, что Моноси перейдет.
From Cloud9, but these last 2 rounds were just off the mark. And this one had no activity whatsoever.
You're just getting scared because things are going too well. Like,
yeah. Hey man.
Меня интересует, где вообще этот, как его, Simple.
So, well, Cloud9, hopefully they... Some of these guys definitely...
Я вообще за турнирами начал следить, ну вот за играми, начал следить, когда начал в CS2 играть. До этого я играл в CSGO, но в CSGO я играл очень мало.
Not versus VP.
Not versus VP, yeah.
О, кстати, знаете, что у меня есть? Вот вы сейчас... Я сегодня разбирал каф и кое-что нашел. Сейчас покажу. Отойду на пару секунд.
You know, you could be winning versus so many other teams, but then you get a draw versus Virtus.pro, and you're like, ooh, we have to do that.
I'd say like Heroic and VP were 2 teams that existed for a long time within their own meta. No one really played like them, and they found success. And the pinnacle of which was like the Rio, major finals where they both met each other, I guess.
I feel like playing Virtus.pro is like going cave diving. You could be the most athletic person in the world. You could be, super successful.
Вот, я сегодня разбирал шкаф со старыми дисками и со всем этим, и нашел вот такую вот фигню. Если кто видит.
You can all go cave diving, but mentally, not all of you are made up for it.
Не, ну обижаешь, братан, не в труселях стримлю, нет. Видишь, шортик на стриме, показал тебе. Все, ты доволен? Доказал тебе, что я в шортик стримлю. На домашнем. Просто в шапочке. Прическа не очень. Вот, нашел, короче, диск. КС. Нет, это не Source, это Global. Это Global. Просто когда вышел CS Global, ну... Я покупал этот диск, когда вот вышел CSGO. Я его сразу же купил. Покупал его видео, как помню. За 4 сотки покупал. Поиграл неделю и понял, что мне не нравится.
And Electronic's got nothing really to offer. If he can hold on to control of storage, then maybe the retake could have come through. Those retakes that we're praising. But these gamble stacks have now allowed VP 3 rounds straight.
А вот ВП и проснулись 6-2. Ну как? Я думаю, что ВП сделает хотя бы 6-4.
Gambling addictions are real.
А лучше 6-6.
We don't always talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell is going on here?
Check in on your friends.
What is going on here?
Ну такое хорошее. Хорошую трансляцию выбрал для убивания времени. Спасибо всем, кто подписывается, спасибо всем, кто ставит лайки. Вообще просто лучше. Мне капец как приятно. Конечно могут, конечно, братан, они сравняют, они сделают, что будет 6-6. 6-6 будет. Они уже все, облачки уже не понимают. Он вот сидит такой и думает, как они уже 3 раунда взяли. Это же наша карта, но они берут 3 раунда уже, все. Просто. Я за ВП. Но голосование... Ну, значит, если... Ой, флит хорош. Вырубил хоббита. Просто в башню. Наказал. Нечего выглядывать. Но электроник тут... Проиграл Джемми. 3 в 4. Бумыч с АВП, ребят. Когда вчера брал Бумыча АВП, он сделал -3 ноускопом. Так что...
It's time for Boomich to step it up if he's going to be picking up this off because he has been all half. And now the fight is coming to him.
Flit on an off angle is going to be ahead of this. But if they can both get into dark, can we praise the retakes? Oh, but Boomich got blasted.
Либо ВП выходить, либо сейвить.
Now Perfecto's going to get pinched soon
Будет
enough.
выход. И
Flit
тут...
is a little delayed, so he can spray down James, but James just doing a good job of getting the crosshair as far from the center line as possible.
А, Бумыча забрали, что ли? А когда его забрали? Я чуть не увидел даже. Ну что ж, 4-й раунд за ВП.
I was sat here talking about all the money that Cloud9 have to work with, and Hobbit still has 7,000, but this M4 save feels tantalizing.
Я, конечно, так как парни комментировать не умею пока что, но я всему учусь. Я надеюсь, что в дальнейшем, если я и буду стримить игры и буду комментировать, то я буду с каждым разом делать это лучше.
I mean, I would say they were tricking them if VP were doing something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. The messages might be too subtle to notice from the top down. That there's something about the way VP play that Cloud9 are expecting. They're not doing it, and so they're misreading. I don't know. But what we can say is that when they watch the demo, they're gonna feel stupid. You know, they're gonna be like, okay, well, I mean, the answer.
Ну, я пока, ну, как бы... Нет, я могу кринжа навалить, конечно, но не буду. Я пока буду культурным.
What were we actually worried about? The lead is going away. They're down a map.
Ну да, ну я вот дома сижу. Дома на балконе сижу и стримлю. КС-ку иногда стримлю. Сам играю. Но я плохо играю. Но пока турниры идут, я не играю. Решил отдохнуть. Так как в последнее время что-то прямо такое подбешивает. Да, уютно, спасибо. Нет, ну в принципе я балкон делал специально для того, чтобы стримить. Ну, знаешь, я бы не отказался тоже в большой студии такой посидеть, как персик. Вот, сейчас вот ВП берут 5-й раунд. Нет, на Твиче пока не стримлю. Стримлю только на Ютубе, но на Твиче есть аккаунт, канал. Он есть. Внизу есть все ссылки. Кто хочет, может подписаться на Twitch. Я думаю, что в феврале начну стримить на Твиче. Там поговаривают, бабки платят. Но не всем. Поэтому я не сильно рассчитываю, что мне там кто-то будет платить.
Might have the odd map here or there where the op goes crazy, but that's it. That's not enough to be consistent.
Но тем временем вы вообще реально, ребят, вообще мощные. Уже, блин, просто, бля, у нас тут 500 чем-то человек смотрит. И половина из них болеет не за ВП. Даже больше половины.
Yes, the op is not as strong in CS2, but it is completely overblown the amount that people are saying is not needed.
Да нет, не закончится. Я тебе говорю, что эту карту заберут Cloud9. По-любому будет 3 карты. Чтобы ставку поставить, чтобы зайти ко мне на канал и обосрать меня. Да нет, это не на вылет. Нет тут на вылет.
I 100% agree there's something a little weird with it still, whatever that thing is.
Все понятно.
James is here. He's been doing great in CS2 as an op.
Мне так кажется, многие за Cloud9 болеют только из-за Бумыча. Ну, в принципе, Бумыч вообще такой медийный чувак. Если бы я знал, что ты не из тех. Ну, если бы ты вчера заходил бы на этот стрим, то увидел, что я вчера также комментировал, причем... Первая карта была оверпас, победа ВП со счетом, по-моему, 12-14. Чего очень много поставил.
Counter-terrorist down to a smoke and a frag grenade. No A presence whatsoever. And Fame's going to figure that out here at a critical 30-second timing. But Bomb's still outside B. They'll find the window push. There's a second player there in Axile. Mir is just nasty with it.
Nice.
You know, Mir can sit at the bottom of the scoreboard for Virtus.pro more often than not.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while you're reminded, hold on though, Perfecto, close enough to cause problems. First one's for free. Bomb's still yet to cross. Norbert's got it. All is good. So sure enough, 6 rounds straight out of Virtus.pro. The first couple felt like gifts. And then Cloud9 get wrapped up in their problems. And we're got a tied game.
Брат, то, что не ставил только на... Поставил 2К на 4.2 на ВП на этой карте. Братан, ну тут... Хорош. Ну вот, да, и 6-6. Ну, сейчас посмотрим, кто пистолетку возьмет, тот и выиграл, как говорят все. Но это тоже не точно.
And Cadian saw a sliver. Oh my god! Oh my god! 1v5! And now it's Dexter alone back here with a Glock, and they're all coming for him. 1 versus 4 as he takes down Brokey. Another 3 kills to find, and he's getting a little bit overwhelmed. But look at how he's isolating the fight. He gets 1 more, and now the question is, can he find a bullet on Wops? He's right around the corner, and Dexter's hunting for him. The tables have turned. It's a 1 versus 4 clutch for Dexter. Monacy alone again. 1 versus 4. And there's no reason they should challenge him here. They have him locked
Да,
down.
я
Yes,
спокойный
it's
по
on him.
жизни. Реакции? Да, ну слушай, если ты зайдешь, посмотришь шорты мои, поймешь, чего не хватает. Не хватает эмоций, понимаешь? Чтобы продвигаться очень хорошо. Я всегда спокойно играю. И реакции, ну в принципе реакции такое. Бывает и хватает, бывает не хватает. Просто нужно вот это, знаете, как там... Я смотрел стримы некоторых игроков, они прям орут, прям там волосы выдирают из себя, прям клавиатуры ломают, вот это все. Мне вот этого не хватает, я не могу.
Simple catches OC immediately, and Electronic also shines. Nitro, it's a good chance. Oh, and he gets 3 on Arch. Oh, he gets them all.
Зато я не бегаю КТшником, не пушу. Не бегаю в темку там, типа не рашу, когда играю за КТ. Я спокойно стою, пленту, ну или на своей позиции. Вот эту карту я бы посмотрел.
Messi's gonna give himself the flash to work with, and now he knows. Bit just fired off a shot. It's a warning as to what's to come. Messi gets the first. Smokes keep them back. 25 health.
Счет сейчас 6-6. На второй карте. Cloud9 тащили, а потом БП камбэкнули. Сейчас минус 2 сделать за его. Ой, медил какой-то. Не за его перепут. А вообще 1-0. ВП выигрывает. Так, ну что, мы вернулись. Погнали смотреть. Конечно, хотелось бы такое тоже посмотреть. Вроде завтра будет играть Нави. Но с кем играть будет, я пока не понимаю. Да, завтра точно будет играть Нави. А, нет, завтра Нави не будет играть. Сорян, перепутал, ребят.
At the Blast Spring Groups 2024 Group D.
See you there.
In a few days. As we are just cranking out the Counter-Strike at the start of 2024.
Yeah, it's very nice to get an establishing shot of everybody's.
Завтра точно играет G2 и Vitality.
You know, I know it's not the most cutthroat format.
Vitality против Falcons играют, но это, я думаю, что изи просто матч будет. Просто изи. G2 против NiP. Ну, победа за G2 по-любому. Эту карту Заберет Cloud9. Я за ВП. Еще раз повторюсь, я за ВП, ребят.
Cloud9 walk it out mid. This is a crazy pistol setup, dude. 4 players of Virtus.pro.
Сейчас посмотрим, как пистолетку сыграют. Ну, все. Все, вы сейчас увидите просто, как Cloud9 будет наказывать. Они... Ой. 2 в 2. 1 в 2. Нет, завтра против G2 не против Нави завтра не играет. Нави играет 27-го. Против кого Нави играет? Наверное... Нави, наверное, будет играть против победителя вот этой карты. Скорее всего, Нави может играть... Погоди, так Нави может играть либо против облаков, либо против Виртусов. По-моему, так и будет. Но это будет известно чуть позже. Я думаю, что завтра уже будет точно известно, против кого будет играть Нави. Но я бы посмотрел Нави либо против Cloud9, как ты писал, либо против Виртусов. Завтра Нави не играет, да, я ошибся. Ну, не самый левый нижний, но... Оно выглядит как белый мишка. Да, мне ВП проплачивает, чтобы я сидел и вот так кричал. ВП. Так, пушку надо брать.
Who's got the money makers? Boomich, Axile. They're both heading towards this B site. There is flesh to shred. Like a rotisserie chicken.
Here they come, feeding frenzy.
Nicely done. Piranha's in the B site. Cleaning up shop for Cloud9's 8th. So that's both pistols. That's 2 conversions. And a 6-0 start to this map.
А что такое ХЛТВ? Я вот смотрю, знаете, не ХЛТВ, а киберспорт.ру. Захожу туда.
I think they definitely should unironically close this game out now.
Should.
Yes.
We shall see.
И НИП. Завтра играет G2 НИП. Не знаю. Ну, я не знаю.
Big nade damage on Boomich. Poor guy, down to 46.
Ну ладно, хорошо, я позже узнаю, что такое ХЛТВ и посмотрю. Что такое New Fuck, пацаны, блядь, давайте попроще, я очень стар для этого всего дерьма. Хорошо, посмотрю чуть позже, обязательно. Да, ну, G2 победит, не проиграют по-любому. Будем смотреть завтра G2, как играет.
Here we go, gearing up quickly. Really just extending into the B site on a moment's notice.
Да, нет, я... Ну что такое New Fuck, ребят, да, объясните, пожалуйста. Бля, ну я смотря сколько он откроет баг, даст, предложит денег. Если лямчика 2 накинет, то да, можно. Я как-то стрикся. Ай-яй-яй, а тем временем Virtus.pro берет раунд, и счет становится 8-7. А, это ругательство.
Nice try for Axel, but look at the damage that's done before the bomb even gets planted.
Ну, слышишь? Нет, в CSGO я играл. Вот, Натя, смотри. Вот, играл. Видишь, у меня есть диск. И у меня до сих пор аккаунт... О, вот это интересно. Сейчас... Ну да, надо было проще в Википедии почитать. Но...
First gun round, first round win. CT side.
Old fuck, старый пердун. New fuck, пердун помоложе. Ну, брат, неплохо.
They're waiting for somebody to go.
Так, братан, я тут вообще просто зашел. Просто врубил стрим, зашел поболтать, посмотреть игру со всеми. Покричать, что ВП затащит. И тут заходишь ты.
Both of them in an instant. Those headshots swift. It was great utility usage coming out of VP on the hold, but
И называешь меня
Cloud9 in the carnage shaved 2 off the site, and
пердуном
that, you know, will
старым,
lead VP to
помоложе.
a save.
Excellent double entry. It was a
В каком году купил КС?
Everything was correct
Я
from
скажу.
VP in terms of their rotations, and they did a good job of
2012 год.
as they entered. That's all they could do.
They saw it coming.
Then it was just sort of like
2012. Не, ну я сегодня на стриме уже получил каплю хейта, конечно. Мне было капец как в некоторых моментах неприятно, но я просто понял, что ну хейт это прикольно иногда. Но я как бы к этому отношусь нормально.
That's an opportunity lost here for Virtus.pro, who very cleverly figured out that it was going to be an A-site hit early.
Yeah, no, definitely playing ahead of the game. Felt like they were putting everything in place.
Ой, спасибо, спасибо. Да, вообще все по кайфу. Нет, ребят, все огонь. Давайте дальше болеть с вами за ВП. Вы же все за ВП болеете. Да был тут один. Так, 9-7. Братья. 9-7, ребят. Ну, блин. Облако заберут в любом случае. Да вам кажется, что вы за Cloud9.
And I like that you're, not going to play scared. We get active, 2 players in the river and a third one up on bridge.
Конечно.
So a good amount of map control.
Конечно, да вам кажется всем, что вы за Cloud9 просто. Вы проснитесь. Да я по голосованию вижу, блядь, там просто капец народу, вы чё? Просто 800 голосов. Боже мой, что вы творите? Просто разносите стрим, ребята. Вы просто разносите стрим.
Cloud9 get everything together, all the plans out, read over the strategy together, throw all the Molotovs, utility.
Да, 79% из почти 800 голосов сделано, 79% за то, чтобы выиграть Cloud9. С рождения за гамбит. Вот сейчас самое интересное. Что за такая за команда гамбит? Соседи болеют. Хорошо. А я за ВП. Ну... Да нет, это карта за Cloud9. Все, вопросов нет. Вот когда будет Инферно, тогда поборемся, пацаны.
Try it out next time you're at home.
Okay.
If you're at home right now, do it. Just a good way to enter every round feeling fresh.
Вот на Инферно мы с вами реально поборемся.
Hot towel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You keeping these hot?
No, but I mean, wouldn't that be nice?
That would be amazing, yeah.
In between rounds, your loved one comes into your room and offers you a nice towelette.
One of those portable gas stoves.
И я думаю, что там...
Just have a towel in there.
Little foot warmer maybe.
С рождения за Титан. Все понятно.
Gaming spa day.
Они вроде недолго играли.
Moist.
А, все понял. Раньше была команда Гамбит, потом ее выкупили и назвали Cloud9.
All right, we're gonna keep it simple, huh? C9. You're gonna try to crank that dial on Jame. You think you can just crank this? No. You're not getting in for free. It'll cost you at least one ticket. And Electronic has punched nicely.
Бумыч делает -2. Хорош. Хорош.
Player who's able to move forward with the death of Electronic.
Ну вот, даже брать по игре, Cloud9 более эффективней выходит на Б, чем ВП. У меня времени 20:12.
That'll force you to play, that's for sure.
I love the lack of fear from Boomich there.
That was heads up.
As his leader dies in front of him, he just
Да
slams
пусть
himself
сейвит,
against the
чё
wall
он,
on
зачем
jail.
Yeah, what's the worst thing that happens
сейвите?
in like
Они никто не
when someone
побегут,
gets off
1-7.
and everyone slows down?
Да,
Shoot
МСК.
again right now. Get going. Get going. And they go forward without the sight cross smoke. So like Jane falls
Мы
back
увидим
to
сегодня
cover,
улыбку
normally
на
that would
Бумыча.
normally get smoked.
Get on up.
And
Бумыч вообще серьезный,
Intel
сидит
towards
такой,
Boomich. Instant
на серьезных
frame
щах.
That's what you need, dude. Lack of fear.
And just really good rifle work, showing off some of that for him again. And the thing is, man, like I'd say this 100% earnestly and in good faith. If he had a rifle all half, he'd have way more kills.
Okay.
Virtually every single
А,
time
не
he had
знаю,
drop,
первый раз
he
смотрю
just
эту
lost
игру.
to a
А,
rifle
нет,
anyway,
второй
he
раз.
get knocked kill or he didn't shoot the gun, so-
Вчера
Back on
смотрел.
overpass as
Ну
well.
так,
Yeah,
мельком.
like he can-
Вчера они
he can
хорошо
definitely
играли.
run a couple of maps, but he can't do it consistently. He can't keep up with.
Ну, Бумыч, да.
We had a conversation yesterday about why is Dastan covering his mouth. We got back to the hotel, had a conversation about it.
Он йогой занимается, ребят.
It's because in their region, people try to read his lips to figure out what they're talking about. Everybody wants to know VP's secrets.
Yeah, it was like the
Как бы-
Selena Gomez incident. You know what I mean? Ever since then, Dastan's been covering his mouth.
I don't know what incident that is.
Он пальцы хавает, он сейчас съест тебе руку, отхавает. Кстати, вот заметьте, на трансляции его очень часто показывают. Ну, потому что он, типа... Давай, Роман. Рома. Доброй ночи.
Yeah, that's recent world news, by the way. That just happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, how'd I miss out?
Ой,
Pick up
началось.
for Flit there.
Как там девушка в Бумыча?
Poor Hobbit didn't think that peak was coming, but you know, sometimes this is the beauty of VP now being against 11
Ну чё,
rounders.
возьмут ВП сейчас,
When you
8-й
start to
раунд.
force VP's hands, the more active decisions.
Я думаю,
The
что
nothing to
возьмут.
lose Virtus.pro is a scary one.
See, this passive setup is so much better than Cloud9. So we have the op on camera holding in through mid, and not actually leaving camera either.
Easy jump back for Norby. Another enjoyer. Or James just makes him use it. They'll get into dark, but there's no real follow through off the back of this. Smoke for Temple over the top, but met by more and more utility. CTs, they've got a smoke here still on the B site in Norbert. I'd assume that's going to go down now at the 30-second mark. And the A players on high alert now. They can definitely afford to scramble over. VP getting ahead of this execute by smoking off B, taking into dark, and another molly outside of the A site. This is going to be a desperate attempt from
Ну чё, это
Cloud9 to try and
выход
push through this A play.
Посмотрим, как
Stack
Cloud9
does get
выйдет,
into
а?
position in time.
Ну, походу, неудачно. Бумыч зря вышел. Его сразу было
Smoke on
заметно.
heaven's one thing. James still has his angle, 7 seconds, and all the supports inbound.
Все, просто разнесли. 8-й раунд за
That's
ВП.
Cloud9, which is like a little bit slow on the calling again. And that was just, hey, let's try B. Hey, that's not looking good. Let's go back to A. 40 seconds into under 10 and no real chance of actually winning, and they commit and die.
Ну, слушай, 11-8.
It's almost as if they've been
Что там по деньгам
playing like Virtus.pro
у пацанов?
with none of the tools.
Покажите, что там по деньгам, по экономике. Как у них? Так, Cloud9 решили взять паузу. Сейчас им там тренер расскажет все. Как нужно играть. Ну, ВП неплохо в обороне сидит тоже. Сейчас.
Nothing's free except CS2.
That's okay. No, it'll cost you your mental health.
Но у меня до сих пор вот эта фразочка, если что, мощная фраза, когда Cloud9 выигрывают против медведей, у меня прямо она есть. Это не байт, это реально есть фраза. Но только если...
Just foolish to ever assume that the game is over before VP have 13 against them.
Да, это же не мой стрим, это турнир. Понятно, что здесь будут смотреть много. На моем стриме не всегда так много. Люди просто не знают еще, на кого подписываются, понимаешь? Ну, реально, да. Онлайн 700 человек у меня впервые. Я просто охуенная такую...
If Cloud9 slow things down and just hold extremities, a real chance VP end up getting split. But they're also not playing middle this round.
Yeah.
Реклам нет, ничего не закупал. Просто все сам спокойненько. Вообще изначально стримлю для того, чтобы просто поиграть по кайфу в КС. И нахожу людей, которые со мной играют, и все. Да, спасибо, заглядывай. Ой-ой-ой, кажись, заявочка на 9-й раунд от ВП. 4 в 2, Бумыч ставит пачку. Кстати, у Бумыча счет такой себе, 10-10. 10 убийств, 10 смертей. Да, было бы неплохо, если бы все поставили мне лайки, поддержали. Бумыч 2 в 2 уже. Вот это ситуэйшн. Ой-ой-ой, как его развели. Нет, не схавает. 11-9. А вот уже камбэк. Камбэк. Как думаете?
This is a great heads-up play from Norbert as well as Fame, who pushed forward to get info early. And what I was saying about James' position,
медвежатки не влезли в Бумыча.
But the fact is that opposition for the 3
расстроился чувак просто по столу. Вот, даже он ведь реально спокойный, но он бахнул по этому столу. Мне вообще нравится, как играет Апекс. Он кричит так, капец. Мясо на Инферне хочу тоже. Нет, я хочу не Доба посмотреть, я хочу мясо на Инферне посмотреть. Чувак, я с тобой согласен просто.
Doesn't catch the headshots though, so Electronic and Hobbit still with some health to work. Bomb's going to be going down, no doubt.
Lots of utility left here for the CT side.
No mid anchor at all to keep Flit out of the equation.
Ну, да,
no time to pass out from the storage closet.
3 в 3. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. 3 в 2. 3 в 2. А есть инфа по девятке. Сейчас флита заберут. Все, минус флит. Джейми пойдет сейвить. Ну, он по-любому пойдет сейвить АВП.
Yeah, Fame definitely played that well. I liked everything about the setup once again, but Cloud9's trade frags were so good. Electronic hit a hard shot. I feel like he was.
Ну что, один раунд осталось взять Cloud9. 12-9.
I mean, the split was very fast. The trade 1-for-1 inside of middle, where it was the Molotov to get the frag.
Yes, sir.
That was good enough.
Да, я знаю, что ВК написали. Ну сейчас надо отключить этот ВК, чтобы он вам не писали, чтобы вы не слышали. Почти сейчас будет уже почти 1000 голосов. Из них 79% проголосовали, что Cloud9 выиграет. И давайте еще 30 лайков бахнем, добьем до 200. Вы просто взяли и накидали, чтобы было 200 лайков. Поддержали это видосик, эту трансляцию, чтобы меня заметили и забанили. Не надо банить меня, чтобы меня потом позвали куда-нибудь еще стримить, какой-нибудь турнир.
Virtus.pro have almost been better in every situation. I wouldn't even say that Cloud9 have proved they're the better team in this
Ща
game
ВП
just yet.
договорятся,
They
типа,
win.
давайте, ладно, отдаем им эту карту, а на Инферно,
And win both pistols, right? Those two variables alone.
а на Инферно мы их накажем.
C9 comfortably in the lead for now.
Ну чё, у всех
3 to go.
закуп.
3 chances.
Ну,
to push
Cloud9
this series
есть
to
на
Inferno.
будущее.
Oh, that'll be fun. See Inferno. We haven't seen it almost at all.
No, I've been looking forward to this series all day.
Они, возможно, банили, стримили русскую трансляцию. Русскую трансляцию стримить нельзя вообще, потому что там права выкуплены, и они прям заходят на стрим и пишут. Иностранцы не писали, но русское мне писали в том году, когда я стримил Blast перед новогодними праздниками. Финал Бласта мне написали, типа, чувак, завязывай, а то кинем страйк. Я почитал, что такое страйк, понял, что окей, ладно. А так предупреждения могут ну, типа, кинуть предупреждение. Вот кинут предупреждение, перейду на Twitch стримить, все. Я думал, это с ножом сейчас зарежут. А английскую не знаю. Ой-ой-ой, смотрите, он не попал. 2 раза не попал. Да что такое кривое вапер-то? Даже я бы попал. 3 в 3. Пачка стоит. Слушай, если бы у меня было много подписчиков и много, ну, хотя бы я зарабатывал на этом, то можно было бы купить. Ради такого кайфа, что тебя смотрят очень много и общаются с тобой. Ой, он дефьюзит, а это не попадает. Да, наказали. Все, раунд за ВП. Мне много лет. Ну вот сколько, вчера мне угадали, сколько лет. Ну сколько скажешь, столько и будет. Нет, не угадал. 46, да. Все верно, 46. Да нет. 31 мне. Ну что, 12-10. 64. Уже верно. Да. 31. В этом году будет 32. Так, ну что, 12-10. Ну, согласен. Да, 31. Будет 32. А тем временем минус Бумыч. Все, считайте, все, раунд взят. Пожилой уже. Спасибо, брат. Умеешь ты комплименты делать.
Still all the original defenders in position. James just getting out of dodge as the smoke fades, catches Axile. They'll put themselves in a post plant again. At the very least, looking to just hang on for dear life.
Вы мне скажите, люди, которые разбираются, как, бля, зайти мне на Go TV, вот как мне смотреть мажор через Go TV, кто знает? Чтобы я сидел и сам переключал, на кого, за кем наблюдать, например. Я вот... Ой-ой-ой. Cloud9 выигрывает. Блин, просрали. Просрали этот момент, но Cloud9 дали... Go TV, да, в CS2 нет еще Go TV.
Both pistols locked in and a 6-0 start on the CT side. Cloud9 not going down without a fight.
Кто разбирается, как через GoTV хотя бы смотреть матчи, напишите мне куда-нибудь. Расскажите, как это делать. Я вообще не знаю, где это. ЛТВ. Я сейчас отойду на пару минут. Давайте 5-минутный перекурчик, и я вернусь. А вы пока поддержите стрим, поставьте ваши лайки. Кто не подписался, подписывайтесь. Конечно, ВП, братан, выиграет. ВП. Но тут ВП плохо сыграли. Ну и Бумыч тут не сильно блистал. 13-14. Максим, ну как ты? Ну зачем? Сразу так-то. Сейчас покажут. Вроде минут 5 перерыв. Или 10.
Glimpses, specific moments that you think that we saw?
I think they actually played really tactically well, both of the teams. So I really want to have a round 11 where I can show both teams.
Ну все, я пошел, сейчас приду. 5 минут перерыв.
Initially have a B push here from the Cloud9 side, which I think is a great idea. They want to get that information early on. They get it, but look how smart Nova plays this. He communicates, James, they're 2 pushing B, we need to get away. He tells the other guys on the map, hey guys, we need to take A because they pushed B. They get the trades, they get the initial bomb side afterwards. So they just really tactically play smart. And then we also see the timing for the lurker is perfect. Because of all that chaos that happened, he's able to go behind them and get 1 kill and secure the round.
I do think in this moment as well is kind of where it started to shift and you saw VP start to figure it out a bit better. And it's almost like they needed that momentum and they needed that confidence boost in order for them to feel like, hey, we can actually come in here, change things up and potentially take rounds off them.
Yeah, they had some great moments, but they certainly also had some bad ones. And I think they just a couple of rounds later on round 20, they did the exact opposite of a well-playing team. And I would really love to dive into that clutch as well, because I think there's so many moments where they fail on basics. We're going to see the potential B hit here. It's all a fake. They're going on A. They get the B side pretty easily, but they go through the smokes, get the kills, and then we have all this of a sudden 5v2. But look at the rotation. It's so bad from Virtus.pro. They get the side. If James gets flashed, it's a good one from Boomich. But look at the guy in the middle, how much chaos one guy is causing. He sees him in the start. Why is he sticking around for this guy? Just leave him. Everybody on the CT side is looking for that lurker, and it gives the amount of space that Cloud9 needs to win the round. Or they don't win the round, but they could easily have won the round.
They didn't win this particular round, but they did very quickly, I think towards the end of that map, realize that they could push Virtus.pro when Virtus.pro made those mistakes and utilize them in their favor. And of course, I think that last round where we saw Cloud9 ultimately win the map was that was Virtus.pro is going to be backstage right now complaining about that.
And we obviously often quote them for their principles of being good at structure. And here they fail the most basic. You never smoke off main, you smoke the bomb. Look at the opportunity that they give to the T's to just stand behind the smoke and spray through the bomb. Why are they not smoking the bomb so they can strafe in front of the smoke and actually kills the T? Big mistake, and it cost them the game.
I got the impression there that it was a bit of a panic. It was almost like they knew that if Cloud9 won that round, they won the map. And it felt like they reverted to very basic errors in a sort of panic of we don't know what to do, which is that adaptability we keep talking about.
Sure, but a team of this caliber should be able to take a deep breath and be like, okay, guys, what is the smartest play? We have a retake here. We have 20-30 seconds still. The bomb has just got planted, and then they smoke off main instead of the bomb. It just cost them so deeply.
I'm pretty sure they feel the same way. They should have known better.
Yeah, they know instantly. When they start shooting through the smoke, they knew, what the hell did we just do? We just lost the game.
You know that's the conversation happening right now. There'll be a couple of arguments. On the other side, though, Cloud9, we've spoken a lot about Virtus.pro's mistakes. I think Cloud9 looked really solid.
Yeah, I mean, Perfecto, it's hard to have any criticism of this guy. He delivers almost every time for this project right now. I think he's really, really valuable. On this anchor role, he's just so solid. So rarely that we see him give the entry kills.
We've got a bunch of highlights now on your screen, which just showcases what a great job Perfecto was able to do on Anubis. As a whole lineup, do you think that this is working for Cloud9? We obviously spoke a lot about the different roles and how they're changing it up.
Yeah, I was scared with the Cloud9 roster when Shiro left that they didn't have initially enough firepower, but with the rise of Perfecto in this lineup, I think they all of a sudden have, because Hobbit and Boomich is not going to give you 30 kills, but all of a sudden we have a guy like Perfecto in his prime again.
Were you happy with Boombitch though? I mean, I still feel like he's a little bit demure on the server right now.
I mean, he creates space, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. We have some maps where it works better. I think Overpass is certainly not one of them because it's so structured. Those maps who are less structured, I think Boomich can have a better way of trying to go through that smoke, catch the timing, be in his prime in this way.
Are you happy with what you're seeing from Virtus.pro? Do you think, I mean, they are a major winner, so I always think that that's, and people can say what they want about that major, they still lifted the trophy. So they are a major winner. Are they showing signs of being able to compete with the top teams? I just worry, my opinion first, is that when I look at them on Anubis, I just don't know if they're as well-oiled as they need to be.
Yeah, for me, the issue is the map pool. They certainly can play an overpass to a very good level, the world's best in my opinion, but the rest of the maps is looking not lackluster, but they're kind of on an equal level with some of the bottom teams at this tournament. They really need to find out a way to copy some of the things they do well on overpass to other games.
How does that work though for a team that plays as much as they do? They say it in all the interviews, they're constantly playing deathmatch. I think I actually spoke to you backstage about the few times I've been at events with them. If they're prac rooms, they are normally the first players into the prac room early in the morning, the last ones out at night. I've watched them physically be removed from a venue because of how much they're playing. What are they doing though? Because the map pool's still not deep enough.
Yeah, but it's the kind of same thing. If you go to a test and you don't know the answers to the test, it doesn't matter if you have 4 hours or 10 hours. So somebody needs to come into this project and really give their learnings. Is it the coach? Is it going to be James? Is it going to be a 5th guy instead of nobody or me at some point? I'm not too sure, because they need to find a way to build their map pool.
Do you think James would listen to someone else, though, coming in and giving the... Because I get the impression that this is not a democracy. I think it's very much James says this and off we go.
I also think it's James land, and I don't think the other guys have too much to say, but I hope with a guy with a lot of experience and potentially also some trophies in the back could go into a team and be like, this could also be better.
Potentially. Probably not. And I don't think we're going to find out anytime soon. I think Virtus.pro is sticking with what they've got, and they are going to continue to stick with it as we move to Inferno right after this.
Всем привет. Еще раз. Ну вот она, красивая карта Инферно. Решающая. Ну, ребят, если завтра не будет стрима, значит забанили. Ну, вот. Да я за ВП топлю, за ВП. Тройные допы хочешь? Тройничок на допах? Первую карту забрали ВП, вторую карту забрали Cloud9. Третью карту заберут ВП. Наверное. Открой Хал ТВ. Хел ТВ. Что такое Хел ТВ? Сейчас я загуглю сначала. Ой. Так. Матчи, наверное.
It's a Group D winners bracket match currently underway. Virtus.pro up against Cloud9. Each of these teams have won their selective map picks, and now we move to the decider. It is Inferno. Inferno, which here during blast groups we haven't seen much of lately.
No, it's a very much middle ground for many teams.
О, кстати, знаете, что самое интересное? Завтра Фейзы опять будут играть с Геймер Легион. Вот что интересное завтра. Они первый раз им проиграли. Завтра будет повторная игра у них.
While on the other side, we're going to have the Jame approach, which is going to be way more slow. And this is going to come with the Molotov from Deep Banana, going to stand behind the smokes, we're going to retake it, and they're going to play the long game. So I'm thinking the Banana is going to be the focus.
I agree with you on Banana being the focus, but I do worry a little bit about Jame time right here, because I think Cloud9 has the potential, especially with that gen over there, to increase the pace quite drastically here on Inferno. And I don't know how Jame handles that when they're coming in a little bit aggressive.
Ну, не знаю насчет отскочат или нет.
Are they going to use the utility on B? Are they going to save it for the late rounds if they're able to get the Banana control and they're going to jump car?
Нет, ну прикольно будет, да, это точно, но я думаю, что нет. Кстати, можем завтра эту посмотреть. Это будет вечером, и я вечером, скорее всего, тоже буду. И буду смотреть.
I mean, stats can be hard, especially when they play different tournaments. There's no doubt that Cloud9 has been playing some more prestige tournament last year than Virtus.pro, so they play a couple of interesting ones that gives the stats a little bit of a different meaning.
So
banana control, you think that that's one of the win factors here. I would argue pace as well. Yeah. So basically control the pace and control banana, and you should be able to take the victory.
Also, one thing that I'm going to be looking out for is that when Jame gets the orb on the CT side, how much is he going to save? He's going to save a lot, but are you able to hunt him down? Because Inferno, it's actually a relatively hard map to save on. I know Jame is famous for it, but if Cloud9 do it well, they can hunt him down together.
Сейчас все решится. На этой карте все решится. Сейчас вот он там в тетрадке посмотрит, как тактику, как играть, как на клавиши нажимать. И начнут.
I think will chase him and are going to try and stop that. We heard Electronic at the start. He said, we know how they play. We know their style. It's going to suit Cloud9 to kind of get a little bit in their faces.
It's also going to be a very deciding CT side, because you know, if you lose 2 players on B, it's just an instant save. We're not going to see the rotations coming in as much on the noobies. You have
ну вы гоните, ребята, вообще просто. Ну уже 1100 голосов и уже 81% за Cloud9.
When we were making our predictions for this particular matchup, I felt pretty confident that Cloud9 had it in the bag. I think that they have a deeper map pool, and I think that they have a little bit more adaptability. I know that you were leaning towards Cloud9. You still there?
Yeah, I think Inferno Boomich has made so many good results on this map. I think he, of anyone, should know how to close down a third map.
There we go. We're
Кто там следующий у нас играет? А, Биг против Heroic. Будем смотреть Биг против Heroic или нет?
Yes, ma'am. That's how that works around here, Sam. We will find out if you are correct.
Как же легко жить, не болея за ВП. Да слушай, за ВП болея легко живется.
I think that with the form we got out of Cloud9 yesterday, particularly versus Heroic, give me a little, give me a little whooping, maybe. Maybe put VP in their place.
I think Cloud9 are going to win.
I think Banana's going to be a problem for Virtus.pro. I think that they are now ever so slightly the GGBet odd favorites, but I mean, you can't even separate these two. So yeah, I think Banana could become problematic for Virtus.pro. If I see a Cloud9 win condition, it's the fact that Boomich is not on the op.
Yeah.
You know, he's not on the op. He's going to be in Banana. He's going to be doing his thing. And you set it back on Anubis, right? When he's got rifles, or if he were to play with a rifle all the time, he could legit just post better numbers.
За ВП.
Let's see if he can do that here on Inferno. Let's
see if he picks up the
op on Inferno.
On an op-centric map.
За ВП я болею. За ВП.
But at least Inferno leads teams to save.
Ой, ну слушай, Биг... Не знаю. Я думаю, что героики поднапрягутся и выиграют.
get up front, take some notes. Whatever the hell you've been doing back there, keep it at home.
I think, I don't know, I'm going to take VP. I can see this argument for the CT side of Cloud9, but I saw a lack of composure on that last map that made me worried about the IGL. Not even the op anymore, the IGLing. I feel like James was just way ahead almost every step of the way. I don't really have faith in Cloud9 in terms of decision-making as a team last map, so maybe that changes. But
James loves to get weird.
Also, was that when we talked about the dream team ended with 3 players from VP.
Ну нет, Биги возьмут одну карту. Все, ребят, собрались, смотрим. ВП за КТ, Cloud9 за Т. Rush Banana.
Single-handedly destroyed Movistar Riders on that B site, yes sir. The clock is the friend of Inferno.
Оп.
And James is Mr. Chronological. Little mid push. Scares Cloud9 for the second. They've got to make sure that's all clear before they decide to go any which way. Sure enough.
Бумыч уже в голову получил. 20 хп осталось у парня.
Make sure he's not down in underground. You never know where the pesky CTs get off to.
Перетяжка на А.
VP afforded the A stack, 4 players here with James in the center of the universe on the site itself. Cloud9 just decided they're not going to waste any more time. It's just the flood. 5 forward between
Мир, -1. Голову. Норберт, плит.
CT pistol rounds where they have the right pieces in place. It's an empty gun for Electronic. He's desperate.
Хорошо, ВП. Первый раунд за ВП.
Before Cloud9 commit.
Every stack was right.
Кто выиграет? Не знаю.
Cloud9 got plenty of stacks.
Кто выиграет, тот и выиграет.
That's for sure.
Кто-то один из них, либо Cloud9, либо ВП. Так что...
Versus Big?
Versus Big?
No, sir. 2-0.
So it was just, I think they won 3 of 4 pistols.
Вот так надо болеть.
Careful. You don't know what Norbert's saying.
It's Norbert, though. If it was someone else,
I don't know, man.
I'd be more concerned. Like Destan? I think he swears a lot.
3 UMPs. This is definitely a cultural thing.
Конечно, есть, брат. Есть. ВП.
It might just be a meta thing now because we're seeing it more.
Но голосование в чате говорит по-другому.
People realize it shreds armor. It was actually pretty good versus armor, and then they nerfed it pretty badly. But maybe there's something about it now that works.
Но многие болеют за Cloud9.
Yeah, they've made it look good.
Yeah.
Norbert's made it look good as well.
It might have some interesting stats now that work out for it.
It's what, $50 less expensive than the MP9?
It's kind of small.
Ну просто вот так, смотри. А кто болеет за Cloud9? Плюсик в чат киньте, пожалуйста. Мне прям интересно, вот сколько сейчас будет плюсов здесь. Будет считать, наверное, считать буду.
His arm's not looking as straight as the others.
I think one of the problems with it, definitely low ammo.
Yeah.
And weird spray.
Yep.
Сейчас просто чат плюсами.
Less bullets than the MP9. So it's $50 less expensive. You get 5 bullets less in your magazine. It shoots slower. And the recoil is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and the nerf was in CSGO.
4 в 3, даже 4 в 2, можно сказать.
Before that point, it was really good. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I love the
There was Stanislaw, who's basically
1 хп у Хоббита.
It was Inferno. He was playing on balcony all the time and using it.
Прикиньте, Хоббит сейчас бы просто спрыгнул с этой и умер бы сам. Неудачный прыжок был бы. Так, 2-0 ВП ведет. Давайте, ребятки. Конечно, хороший был кэф на них. Ну да.
Virtus.pro like the calmest team that actually win.
Но тут КТ сторона сильная.
I'm racking my brain, but no, you're right. I would say Ents was up there.
По невидимому телефону разговаривают. По рации.
Once upon a time.
Передает что-то.
Astralis was pretty calm, even when they beat Vitality the other night. They didn't get too crazy. I mean, again, VP's still the calmest. I'm not challenging that.
Device actually talks in the middle of games and stuff.
A little bit, yeah, but
VP don't do that.
Да, это последний решающий
They
раунд.
kept it in their pants, man. I think that's because Blame F. Remember Blame F's lesson that he learned?
Vitality?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Blame F's lesson that he learned versus Complexity?
That was funny.
Last year.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard.
One time he's really.
I haven't heard Blame F talk smack
Ну,
since.
блин, ребят, давайте добьем до 300 тогда лайков, и все, и я просто буду в шоке.
Yeah, until you win.
Впервые мне на стриме столько лайков поставили, что я
I've heard a few Blame F
буду
pop-offs. Man's got a little
рад
bass.
этому. Капец, как.
It's got a lot of bass.
По мне, может быть, не видно, но в душе у меня там прыгает чувак и радуется, что... Ну, это реально приятно, очень приятно. Капец, как приятно, когда с тобой в чате сидят очень дохера народу, и они общаются и поддерживают тебя. Кто-то и поддерживает, кто-то и хейтит, и все приятно это вообще. Но они не тебя поддерживают, а команду. А ты болеешь за ВП. А весь чат болеет за Cloud9. Это очень интересно.
Have to make sure the individual levels don't fall off. Cold start for a few of these Cloud9 players. Although only 2 rounds deep. What is this, dude? Where's the
Ну, походу, это выход Б.
Also, there's UMPs that are coming in. So smoke comes down, but Cloud9 will be going through this in a second.
Пойдут смог? Пойдут Cloud9 смог или нет? Долго стоят, думают. А этот сбегал, короче, типа сказал, пацаны. Лучший, братан. Хорош. Все, перетяжка. Сейчас Cloud9 просто на банане. Все, смотрите, минус... Минус 2 даст. Ай, нет, не дал. Ой-ой-ой, смока. На банане есть инфа, сейчас заберут Акселя или как его там. 2 в 2. Бумыч вообще 0-2 идет. Что-то.
Playing out from Coffin, waiting for James to slowly work his way up Banana. Norbert worried that maybe he's getting flanked, but they're both right here, ready to hold him. Instant headshot comes out from Exile. Beautifully done. That's enough to turn James away. A frantic moment on the front of that
Будут выбивать
site.
дроп. Дроп будет выбивать. По-любому, а те, на это выйдут. 2-1. Cloud9. Раунд за Cloud9.
Is good to go. James with that UMP, yeah. I mean, they fully respected the smoke that brings it down to 15 seconds. It was thrown at 45, right? So, or it was thrown at, or whenever it was thrown. But it was coming up around 15 to 17 seconds.
Fame who was boosted. That's the problem when like you have like this team decision.
Ну хотя на подсадке чувак мог бы забирать двоих, но не вытащил по скиллу.
Yeah, we'd love umps.
Oh, what do you think this the?
I mean MP9. I think most people would prefer an MP9 over
Ну Джеймис АВП, он сейчас все, у ВП есть АВП. У ВП есть АВП.
Like what are they?
Бать рифмами начал говорить, все. Реально скоро в стрим этот можно идти. Как их там называются-то?
Комментаторы.
Мог на лонг бросили, закрыли. Закрыли АВП. Виртуса перетягиваются с Б. Сейчас запишем. Сейчас. Неудачно мир вышел. Джейми забирает Хоббита. И Cloud9 начинает перетяжку. А, видели. Ну, он просто не проснулся. Что ты? У него в голове сейчас другое.
Good dink.
Хорош, электроника прошил прямо нормально так. Лид. Пачка ставится на Б. Всегда путаю Б, А.
Nothing magical happens here, and well, that's why there won't be any retake.
Ну и чё, это будет сейв. Это будет сейв.
Yes, saving for next round is no problem. It is kind of funny.
Это будет сейв.
Ну,
блин, было бы круто, если бы Флит забрал сейчас еще двоих. Нет. Отлично. Главное сейчас не просрать АВП. Ну да, они такие спокойные.
To the victor goes the happiness.
And all the spoils.
Сейчас будет, мне так кажется. А, нет, не будет. Я думаю, вслед... Хотя нет, пока. Не будет. Ну, Бумыч вообще 0-2 пока. Ничего не хочет делать. Привет, привет.
VP really one of those teams that are so content to just like assemble and disassemble stacks back and forth.
Yeah.
Really mobile CT side.
It's admirable, but last round was a good example of like you can just get completely exploited for that. Like,
ну, Бумыч оставил в бласте свой след своим ноускопом вчерашним, по-любому. Три ноускопа, ну это мощно. Причем один двойной. Это было пушка просто.
Them on Inferno. I just really hate these, but
Incendiary in front of the push.
Ну ладно.
How many men come scrambling over if
Привет.
Any.
I don't even know how he's gonna stop this.
He's not. Molly burns out. Flash over coffin already. Now he's just down to the frag grenade. He could open the coffin smoke.
Опять Cloud9 ставит на Б-пачку.
He'll go for the spam and almost kills Boomich, but again, just a free bomb plant and arguably
Они ставят отдают пачку Бумычу, типа Бумыча не жалко. У него и хаешки, и все, он первый отлетает. Ну, ВП по стандарту, сейв. Ну что, пацаны, давайте сейвить. Я болею за ВП. Виртуса как обычно. Ну блин, ну везение не везение, но он же сделал это. И он сделал это на трансляции, ну это сделал на большом турнире, на онлайне, и это по-любому заметят.
Which costs like $4,000 just to
every
play.
Round. Yeah. It's high buy-in.
Да, Бумыч, конечно, раскликается. Посмотрите, он так напряжен. Реально, его на трансляции всегда показывают. Его так много показывают. И этот момент, который вчера он сделал, он реально будет показываться на других. ВП? Ну, ладно.
Let's hope we get an evolution from the game plan of VP. Please. For their sake.
И вот, кстати, я вот смотрю, некоторые игроки, мониторы... Да, учитывая, с какого дна он вышел в Тир-1, он сделал реальный камбэк. Молодец. Нет, Бумыч молодец, он и медийность у него хороша, и все вот это вот. Вот он красавчик.
T's smoke it out themselves.
Тем временем за Cloud9 еще больше голосуют.
And then start to press closer to the A site. For the first time, this A site's finally not stacked.
And they have seen Banana now. Cloud9 are hoping that they don't play for it early. So this might work out well for James. We'll see.
Flit also doesn't rotate over, so it's still just 3 on A. They come through the smoke. Mir's gonna get nothing done. Oh, damn, dude, this setup's compromised.
Ну, слушай, я бы не сказал, что Джейми прям, хотя 4-0, не попал, попал, сгорел. 3 в 2, пачка ставится на А. ВП по стандартному идут сейвить. Мне так кажется, у ВП просто, типа, ну, им сказали, пацаны, если вас меньше, то бегите сейвите сразу же. Как они ставят пачку, бегите сейвите. При любом случае, просто сейвите. И все. Ну, слушай, я смотрел некоторые интервью с ним, он реально милаха такой, общается приятно, ну, такой скромненький.
And instead, he just stood in the archway, listened to the flash, and let 3 people swing on him.
And died.
Yeah, so that puts the A site in jeopardy. I mean, your arch guy needs to be able to put pressure on the Wrap to stay alive. So that was, I think, a brain fart moment from Mir.
Yeah, he was a non-factor in that last round.
They weren't even really looking at him for that first.
Now, had James hit that first shot, he would have posted 2 kills. Norbert also gets 1.
Yeah, then it makes up for it.
You know, that one op shot was pretty close as well. Cloud9 content with the way that Inferno has begun. 4 rounds already early on this T side.
Ну, пока от Бумыча пока незаметно игры.
C9 may get caught off by James now, opting towards B. That allows Mir to be the dedicated A site player, and Fame will take over Arch instead.
К сожалению, не могу ответить на твой вопрос, но я думаю, что в чате могут тебе подсказать.
That's a team ollie. Oops. Wasn't me, says Hobbit, knowing that it was.
Well, James can't help, but he can't allow all.
А, я понял. Он, да, я понял. Это чувак, который в Нави был. В Сайбершок играет. Но я смотрел интервью последнее. Что-то у Сайбершок не очень. Да, я вижу, что Cloud9 ведут. И мне так кажется, они сейчас заберут 5-й раунд. А ВП пока не хочет.
Boomich is in the B site, so now they just have less players to attack here.
Just got to get past Pit. They fall down onto Fame. Norbert, can he do it all alone? 2 kills, and that bomb's got to cross, and the Arch player can't help him.
Oh, yeah.
James won it in CT.
Ты просто первую карту не видел.
The slightest chance to do it all, but instead,
на первой карте он умирал больше всех. Но, в принципе, он на Анубисе отыграл нормально. Оверпаст, он его не видно. Хотя по статистике Инферно у ВП лучше, чем у Cloud9. Когда показывали статистику карт, то у ВП лучше.
Good that they can make them frustrated.
Yes, same way. Yeah, you gotta shake VP up a bit.
Блин, ну ладно, чувак, Рэнди, ну не надо так говорить. Ладно. Ну Бумыч... О, нет, Бумыч все-таки сделал. Все, вот он наказал кого-то.
Flit's gonna slide out behind sandbags. He's got a lot to handle here. Perfecto and Axile looking for the trade, but he gets away. They give him just a little room to work. And Norbert
Ну, нет, Эрик хорош, Эрик красавчик, Эрик, я смотрю его видосы, мне очень нравятся его видосы. Что он делает? Красавчик, Эрик.
Bit of tag damage coming through the smoke. Axile, he'll put the bomb down. Let's see this retake. 4v2. Norbert already clears out pit. And Axile has been relegated to the deepest of corners on this backside.
Ну чё, давайте ВП, ну уж тут-то сейвить не надо. Давайте заберем раунд. Ну чё вы третесь-то? Четвером на одного выйти не можете, разменяйте. Боже мой. Ну ладно. Сейчас я надеюсь, что раздефузят. 5-3. Успеют.
Yeah, that was something good. I mean, last round wasn't really a calling problem as it was individual, right? Because they had 4A. And they also, yeah, like Boomich running into B side and dying didn't actually change the map at all. But they had the kills.
Free one from Norbert, who had quite a significant drop-off between map 1 and map 2. Even more significant when you think he is the second highest rated player behind.
А все смотрели, кстати, у Эрика видос про про создателей читов для КС. Многие смотрели. Да, погоди еще. Они, кстати, вообще АВП не покупали. Ну, медведи пассивно играют как-то, да. Есть такое.
Once again, 4-1 versus the A hit. This is what you want as a CT.
Oh, those dinks.
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Хорош, хорош. А Бумыч тем временем наказал флита. 4-2.
Sorry, Hobbit, your luck's just run out.
What was the slot machine called? Barry's Belly Busters or something?
Lucky Larry's Lobster Mania, baby.
Right, yeah.
That's a classic.
Да, да, да.
Larry's treated me well over the years.
First time in Vegas like 3 months ago.
Dude, me and I get to... So we go to the esports awards. I meet up with Maui Snake before you got to the city.
Yeah.
And me and Maui go out for dinner. And then he's showing me down the strip. You know, he takes me to the Luxor. Takes me
Теперь
to
Cloud9
Caesar's
решили сейвить.
Palace after we walk by, you know, kind of the strip and whatnot. Having a good time. And we're walking through the sea of slot machines. And back in my younger days,
реально много, типа, говорят, что там читаков очень много. Вот. И типа на фейсите лучше чит. Ну, я был прямо очень удивлен, что реально так очень много читаков. Ну, полезное интервью, прямо. Очень полезное. Плюс Эрик сделал как бы впервые, никто до этого не делал такое интервью. Так, Бумыч думает, сейчас тактику новую разрабатывает.
It was literally a machine that said vintage games.
That's so cool.
Lucky Larry's Lobster Mania.
That's so cool. Really lucky. Hopefully,
Так,
I mean, they must be taking someone's money.
Yeah,
they've been in business since you were a child.
Yeah, all the people around that machine.
Кто тебе больше нравится из состава ВП?
Lucky
Connor.
Давай я буду честен перед тобой, братан. Мне просто нравится их эмблема.
But if we're talking slots, I mean, Lightning Dragon.
Lightning Dragon
number one. It's okay, Perfecto.
Все хорошо.
It's gonna be all right. 5 rounds to the 4 of VP. Nothing to be ashamed of, but it is money on the line this time, and they opt not to buy on Axile. Missed shot out of James.
Она смотрит, около 1000 человек смотрит этот стрим. Бать, это просто жесть. 1000 человек на стриме. Я просто в шоке, ребят.
But they're also only losing for now.
Indeed.
Norbert's looking ready to go. Just got to deal with the Glock.
I will also
Ну,
say,
Флит
though,
агрессивно
I think
играет.
Jim, as a caller and an individual, has been standout compared to everyone else. But some of his teammates are not actually making all the best decisions. So there is that sort of weird duality as well.
Anyone you want to throw under the bus?
Mir.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was fast.
So.
Anybody else?
Axel on B on Nubis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Norbert from Pit again. One of the most improved Pit players
Да,
in the
Эрик
world.
красавчик.
That's true.
Makes it look so easy. That's 2 assists for Norbert, 2 frags for Norbert. This entire round is based on Norbert. Nice shots from Perfecto, and we got great things from him throughout this
Очень,
series.
приятно. Да нет, они есть. Они есть. Ребят, русскоязычные есть стримы, но они есть на Твиче.
Nobody can stop Norbert.
And Norbert is somebody that I don't have anything bad to say about him, really, in terms of decision making. And nor Flit or Fame, actually, in the series. They've got some really,
Ну,
really
я
tough
не
trades. I
сильно
think they were
комментирую,
a huge
но
part of the map win.
я общаюсь с вами
In
больше,
general, Norbert
как сказать.
has
Итого
improved so much as an
5-5.
anchor on B-side on overpass, as well as a
5-5. Ну чё, давайте закончим
And that was
первую
the-
часть игры
he got memed
7-5 в
after
пользу...
the Rio major for winning. Oh, Norbert won a major. That's funny that he got cut. But then VP actually started playing worse. They brought him back in, and the
Давайте
anchoring on
закончим
VP side, I think,
7-5
is what he
в пользу
definitely
ВП.
improved on the most.
Oi, James gets away with a quarter health. Norbert's gonna be queued up. Oh, takes a bunch of damage to Boomich. But everybody's surviving these fights back and forth. I think that's the beauty of Norbert's story, though, right? When he got cut, he was told exactly what he had to improve on.
Ну, мы еще посмотрим. При этом у меня есть фразочка для Cloud9, если они выиграют. Да, я думаю, что Херойки выиграют. По-любому. Как писали тут недавно, BD могут одну карту взять все-таки. Будет 3 карты. Если хотите, можем посмотреть. Ради вас, если вы также будете сидеть и общаться, я готов посмотреть эту карту, если меня не забанят.
Mir slides into the corner. Doesn't have anybody to work with here. That's all right. He's got his headshot. He got his. Oh, and he flashes himself on the fallback. Eats an enemy flash. And they're going to be able to push through this. Jamin spawned, though. Doesn't shoot the first. Love the target selection. Knows he's being swarmed. Can't manage to hold off the tech.
О, Бумыч, как наказал Джейми. Прямо. О, пачка упала. Ой-ой-ой-ой, Флит делает -2. Но нет. Ой, это Фэми. Перепутал. 2 в 1. Я надеюсь, что ВП сейвить не будут. Ну, фиг знает, сейчас медведи возьмут и пойдут сейвить. Да, будем смотреть. Будем смотреть. Нави будет 27 числа. Но завтра тоже очень хорошие игры будут. И...
Couldn't get through it this time. VP get into the lead. Another half buy mixed, well, a force down, but with 3 Mac 10s. 4 Mac 10s, excuse me. My God.
5-6. Ну чё? Ой, люблю вот эту М-ку. Эта М-ка вообще нравится мне. Как, я не помню, как она называется. Но вообще весь этот сет красивый. Сейчас. О, давай, прошивай. Да не, просто ВП решили проснуться, чтобы поняли, что много отдали уже. На хаешку. Да, давайте меньше спама. Больше по делу.
Second one comes out. That one's fantastic.
Hobbit забирает Мира.
Electronic getting it out just in the nick of time. And Hobbit even getting away on 3
Пачка
HP,
стоит.
12 health for Perfecto. We've got a player stuck backside. That has to be the anchor that holds this off for Cloud9. His other 2 teammates dead. Electronic is fighting, writhing as he gets the second on the cross. But I believe they jump on
Да,
bomb with
поток
Kit.
информации.
Yes, sir. Norbert to take that 7th, to give VP a 2-round lead as
Пацаны, 5-7. Я же говорил. 5-7. Молодцы, ВП. Ля, вы красавчики, 300 лайков набахали. Вообще просто мощные. Медведи молодцы, мишки просто, белые мишки. Ну, а реально, много кто ставил ставки за Cloud9? Ну, вообще, есть кто реально... Сейчас, секунду.
There was indeed a point in the first 12 rounds where it felt like the better team, VP, were losing, but they turned it around. They enabled themselves to grab a few rounds towards the tail end of it all. Cloud9 trying their damnedest, but just couldn't lock in a few of those post plants. So some missed timings, missed stacks, etc. at the start of this half. Kind of reminiscent of like going back to Anubis, where Cloud9 left the door open for VP in the second half. There. It's a 7-5 lead, but it's a T side that lies ahead of Jame and his merry men. The odds are now even. Ain't
dead even. They were just
dead even.
A tenth
Nobody
of a
knows.
point off before. Now they're just dead even.
Love that. Map 3 of a best of 3.
That's crazy.
12 rounds in, and we still don't know who's actually going to win this. We got everything we wanted from this series. Still a little more runway left to go. Smoke flash for Boomich. Teammate boosted. The entirety of Virtus.pro gunning for this B site. We've talked about Cloud9 and their ability to win pistols so far here in Copenhagen. There's a gap on that smoke, though. They can just press along the wall. And the T's themselves smoke off Perfecto's position, so he is a non-factor.
There's no way to see over the boost in this smoke either. Oh, nice shot.
Boomich, though, just pressing along the side of it. So it will be man advantage for the retake. No kit, though, for Cloud9 in this pistol round. And Perfecto can finally see. But Norbert drops his teammate from down beneath him, and Perfecto has to give up the spot as the T's throw another smoke on CT Cross. Ooh, this makes things tough.
Yeah, late banana play here from Hobbit. This might work out. Flit and Axel about to kiss.
Face to face. They can feel it. Berettas start to churn through. Damage is good. Flit He'll finally die, but Jane picked up 2 headshots. It's gonna fall on Norbert. Sitting back sight, just iced out by Hobbit, but no kit. No kit, no time, no pistol. VP 8-5.
Good job delaying. And, man,
Да, я тут, я отходил, просто надо было помочь дочери.
That was actually exactly what they needed.
Ну что ж,
That was
я пропустил все. А, я пропустил. Да, не успел, но... А, нет, раунд взяли, ВП. Уф, уф. Бум еще засадили как. Хедшот просто. Молодцы, ВП, молодцы. Ну что, смотрим, 8-5. Пользу ВП. Так, подсадочка какая-то интересная. Полторашку поставил. Нормально. Ого. На лонгу там что строят. А фигня, что они на Б решили выйти. Сейчас инфа будет, что на Б никого. И все, ВП перетягивается. А дойдет ли? Успеет поставить пачку ВП? Ой-ой-ой, а нет, нет, успел смог кинуть. Нормально, пацаны, вы там поднимите. Но это не точно. Ну пока еще непонятно, 5-8. Ну, я не знаю, какой шанс. Я не букмекерская контора там. Но тем временем 9-5, ребята. 9-5. Они вот сейвят. Просто не дрались никто. Они там башню какую-то строили, поэтому... Поэтому 9-5. On the T side, so they'll buy Mac 10s, but they won't buy MP9s. We need to. I'm trying to collect all the data I can to figure this out.
That's good.
So.
Отлично.
Bag of SMGs on the
отличненько.
But only umps
Я
on the CT side.
Очень рад этому факту.
Virtus.pro is like reading hieroglyphics.
Yeah, like look at this.
Ща, погоди, он там шепчет что-то своей команде.
Radio command, this is Dostan. James, do you read? Over.
Сам, да, типа по рации говорит.
Reinforcements inbound.
Just perfect American accent. Imagine. Imagine privately.
Ребята тоже умеют комментировать, очень смешно. Поржал, поржал. Классно.
The spy.
Так, ну чё?
See what the call was.
Ну да, я знаю. Я вообще не ною. Или это мне говорят, что достал ныть?
Careful. The Molotovs turn him back, so no rush coming through from VP. We get Axile looking to take the helm, and yeah, he's gonna find the wallbang kill to Norbert.
No.
Good control, no panic. Costs him half his health, but
it's a sort of a quote-unquote bonus round here for Virtus.pro, so they're down to that one AK, the one Galil, couple of SMGs.
Ну, кстати, за Cloud9 мы не видели ни разу АВП на этой карте.
I think light and fast now.
But that did just enable Cloud9 to go for the 3-player B stack and boom.
А все, теперь не так легко будет зайти.
Perfecto finds fame with fire.
Ну чё, ВП по стандарту, сейвим. Они сейчас сейвить пойдут. А хотя нет, смотрите, что-то хотят. Они хотят... Нет, сейвить. Будут сейвить по-любому. Будут сейвить и выбивать дроп. Вот, смог. Хорош. Ну, смотрите, какой хороший смог просто положил. Ля, он красавчик.
but they don't find Boomich. So it costs them a little more utility. But again, this is like VP, right? They'll always play to down to 10 seconds.
Нет, сейвить будут по-любому, потому что там 13 секунд осталось, все.
And they opt not to, keeping the Galil, the AK, and the Ump. All they lost were the 2 Mac 10s and every single grenade.
9-6, брат.
Worth.
Но ВП выигрывает пока что.
Cloud9, I mean, just starts off quietly with Axel in the apartments, Silent, M4, A1S bullets.
Ой, спасибо за донат, спасибо большое.
And we didn't really get to see the full sort of game plan of
Очень приятно. Спасибо.
But they're gonna have more money to try on this next round, so Cloud9
Очень приятно. Доширак подарок, конечно. Конечно, Доширак тоже подарок, ребят.
I guess he had. I think he dropped a gun over to somebody, so I'm not sure if he got a good one.
Would have been an Ump.
Так, у Бумыча пауза там. А, нет, вот. У кого-то техника сломалась.
No hand signals. No snacking.
No crying. No crying during tech pauses.
Imagine that. It's just in the rules that you can't cry. You're just getting 13-0'd on LAN. Start tearing. Ref comes over. Smacks you upside.
Да, будет очень клево, если вы поддержите стрим лайками. Мне будет очень приятно. 3000 поставил. Блин, ну то реально вот сегодня вот эта игра реально достойная ставки на самом деле. Бывает изи ставка, а бывает не изи. Вот сегодня серьезная ставка, потому что там, как, я не знаю, как сказать, коэффициент, что ли.
Honestly, I think you have a business.
Yeah, I just have to find a way to
Почти одинаковые у команд.
Okay. Well, they're not looking.
Skadoodle after Cloud9 won the major.
Crying.
Now
those tears.
That's $1 million.
At least we got some happy. Yeah,
$1 million idea.
You could retire off this business. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but then what I would do for fun?
Now he snakes haters. You can sell their tears.
They're a dime a dozen.
А что сегодня за праздник? День студента сегодня?
Norbert's had a hard time getting up into the apartments. Keeps getting pushed back these last 2 rounds. Come on, man. Let Norbert play his game. He's the best performing player in the server. And that is really truly a testament to his improvements.
Ну тогда всех студентов с праздником. Почему вы смотрите игру, а не тусите в день студента? Сегодня... А, хотел сказать, сегодня пятница, сегодня же четверг. Понятно, почему вы не тусите. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Так, 3 в 4, можно сказать. Не факт, не факт. Ой-ой-ой-ой, электроник вообще хорош. Так.
Can they actually go for this? It's a little bit awkward. This would take a lot here for both Axel and Hobbit. We've got one smoke. They could use it for CT, maybe
красавчик.
Я
тоже по профессии технолог по приготовлению пищи.
But he still gets away. They have CT smoke. There's no chance to fight back into this. No retake. This is for 10 rounds. Can Virtus.pro pull this off right now? Is there any way for Cloud9 to, I should say?
I don't think so.
Теперь Cloud9 сейвит. Так, итого 6-10. А самое-то знаете, что главное? Ребят, самое главное то, что я не скажу вам фразу, если выиграют ВП, которую я хотел бы сказать. Ну, она такая, ну, нормальная, ну, прикольная. Но если выиграют Cloud9, я скажу. Но если выиграют ВП, я не скажу. Даже не думайте.
could have been a round-winning push.
It was this basically, though. That
Look at this. They're just too close. They're just all on him.
And Boomich couldn't get his one when he was top oranges.
Yeah. They were just all up in his business.
Cloud9 can't afford close calls. They do have a couple of timeouts left. Using one now.
Вот это жесткий момент был. Бля, комментатор просто ржет.
Go.
Вы думаете, будут допы?
And that's the secret communication. That they're making calls via beatbox.
Не, ты про фразу скажешь купить дефы? Нет, это нет. Фраза вообще мощная. Причем она связана именно с поражением ВП.
VP's T-side thriving. It looks like Norbert can finally climb through the window.
I hate this setup. I've seen this setup fail every single time. At best, it's
Ну, она может быть даже, я бы сказал, грубая.
Let's see if it works. I don't want to play anymore.
Нет, это третья карта уже.
Shredded down to 12 HP.
There's really no counterplay there. You literally got spammed for free, but like.
Это третья карта. 1-1.
What's the op gonna do? Shoot back?
Yeah, exactly.
По картам.
That's the first time Norbert's finally allowed into the balcony, and look at the impact he has. Without taking a single point of damage, he disassembles the apartment's setup.
That's so good. That's so good.
Flit's happy to charge through that.
Да, не, я еще не настолько. Вот, давай, если я годик еще вот продержусь на стримах и тому подобное, тогда уже скажу тебе.
More damage as well to the cross, but Norbert hasn't committed yet.
They want to think about Norbert's right. They can't go back to the other side of the map. This is actually the best place to go. Plant can go down. Electronic swings out. Doesn't see it quite.
Okay. Hanging on for dear life.
That same
Пачка поставлена, но 1 в 3, мир.
From Hobbit making sure that he clears the board. We were talking about Mir's shortcomings on the CT side.
And he's going for good cover.
If he wants to put his name up in lights, now's his chance. 1v3 from backside. 2 players tagged up, and Hobbit's not coming in with the kit. So these 2 players on Coffin
Ой, флешка не зашла, своего зафлешил, все, есть инфа. Минус. Успеет? Да, у него есть диффуза, успел. 10-7.
He could have played time. I mean, almost.
Да еще дофига раундов, если честно.
I also think Norbert makes a slight mistake because he could have planted fully behind the fountain pillar.
Еще и допы могут быть. Ну, если будут допы, так это вообще мощь.
Yeah, he was just. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
He was like 80%
just trying to get it down fast. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Couldn't say that he's fortunate to even get the plant because Electronic doesn't notice him on the first swing.
Yeah. Just his little noggin.
Oh, Boomich.
Cloud9 win a much-needed rounds.
No,
and honestly,
denying that.
No chance they even get close to that if not for the Flit 2K. Perfecto did some magic right there in the B site with his MP9.
Про фразу? Не, мне так кажется, не будет банально. Она больно грубая даже, я бы сказал, в некоторых моментах.
Gets dinked and burnt to a crisp.
If you want to know what he was doing, you can watch Mahone's video on the history of banana utility.
Yes, shout out to Mahone.
Oh my god. How did he source that?
Короче, я ее могу сказать даже, знаете как? Брат, ну вот сейчас на стриме 372 лайка. Если наберется 500, я сразу же говорю эту фразу. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Boomich сейвить будет. А ВП вышли хорошо. Ну, блин. Надо ж как-то учиться у других стримеров. Они все так же пишут, там, типа, Если... Да, я вижу, это капец просто. Это просто бомба. Ну, и матч такой прямо пушечный. И стрим, то, что вы есть, присутствуете, это тоже пушка просто. Вообще приятно, спасибо, что, ребят, подписываетесь, что ставите лайки и вот общаетесь, клево. Спасибо вам большое.
Man of the hour, baby, Norbert.
Norby.
Taking up the space that Flit has left for him. It's not every day you see Flit sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard.
Ну, слушай, уже 4 сотки набили просто. Набили 4 сотки лайков. Мне просто кажется, если я скажу эту фразу, медведи обидятся. Нави играют. Меня научили пользоваться ХЛТВ. Нави будут играть 27-го либо с НИП, либо с G2. Смотря кто выиграет. Да не, хватит этот. Не, хватит 500. Или сколько? А, нет, вот смотрите, прямо насыпайте, прямо мощно. Мне вообще приятно. Да мне самому хочется услышать ее. Но я боюсь, что она очень грубая. Немногие выкупят шутку.
As they are 2 rounds away from dropping Cloud9 in this best of 3 and locking in a spot in the group final. London on the line.
Wait, why does he only have an MP9? James has $3,000.
Никакая. Я видел игру Астралиса, и мне очень понравилось, как они играли. Как бы... Ну, у Vitality была очень легкая игра с ОГ, они расслабились, и их наказали за то, что они расслабились. Вот и все. Также сейчас ВП накажет Cloud9.
Ooh, and they just missed him, but second player is going to crouch into the scope, and Hobbit gets away.
Но это не точно.
This buy is the equivalent of life insurance. Counter-Strike edition. They can come through 4v5.
He's got to hit his shots. There's another one.
Down to 9 HP.
Да нет, выкупите, выкупите. Ну просто тут фишка в том, что эта фраза хорошо подойдет, если победит Cloud9. Она не срабатывает. Брать, что там, уже 5 соток. Нету еще 500. Нету. 445. Мы договорились на 500. Хотя у меня на стриме 1300 зрителей. 500 лайков — это вообще изи. Да нет, это вроде не на вылет игра. Хоббит хорош.
So a trio of AKs in 2 rounds. Leave it to VP to play unique.
Does put tons of pressure on the CT economy. Whenever you get a round where you're just guaranteed to have 5 alive at the end and don't use any utility.
Уф, Флит минус 2 делает. Красавчик просто. Блин, ну... Серьезно, 505.
They're just going to hold back on Banana for the time being. Comfortable 5v3 to secure a 12th round win.
Нет, фраза будет, ребят. Будет. Да, я вижу, что уже 500.
I mean, I think that Perfecto, you know, is of half a mind to say, well, we don't even have odds to win on the A site. I've got to kind of hope, yeah. Like, he can't hold B by himself. He will not versus 5.
Yeah, he knows it. They'll right off the losses, give Virtus.pro a 12th. So it is as simple as giving Flit an AK.
Ну, давай без этого, что Virtus.pro команда бичей. Да, я вижу, что 500 лайков, вижу. Ну, я жду. Давайте дождемся. Фраза будет 100%. Будет, но давайте дождемся конца игры. Ну, давайте дождемся. Ну, мало ли Cloud9 выиграют, реально, и фраза будет вообще в тему. А так, блин, надо будет за 2 раунда новую придумать, если Cloud9 будут тащить. А они уже, считай, 11-8. А, 12. Ой, 12-8, ребят. 12-8. Ой-ой-ой. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. А мне там интересно, не переобулись ли с голосованием? Бра, вы вообще красавчики. Все еще до сих пор голосуют за победу Cloud9. Что вы творите? Просто что вы делаете? Да ВП сидят сами не верят, что они вот выдают просто. Хозяин слово дал, слово забрал. Да нет, я скажу. Как? Вот. Ой, пропустил. Ну и он под флешкой был, поэтому... Да расслабься, братан. Это всего лишь деньги. Как в этом... в Духлесе говорили. Это всего лишь бабки, сука, бабки. Да нет, ты чё? Оп, микрочку видел? Деньги приходят и уходят, да. Погоди. Может быть и допы будут. Ой-ой-ой, -3 от Cloud9. Да погодите вы еще не проиграли. Подождите, почему вы решили проиграть? Что проиграли? Они обычно не жмут, они обычно кулачками вот так делают. Тынк. Но хотя Норберт может сделать вот так, хоп, а я там живу.
Between the T and CT side, but it's the fragility of the CT side economy that is more exposed than anything else.
Nice play from Electronic. Felt like it was pretty important.
Все верно. Пока.
Really did shut the door on VP here in round 21.
Ну вот, 12-9.
8 rounds back and forth with non-consecutive round wins for either of these teams.
Insane.
Cloud9 need to change that pattern right here.
Now. If they get 2 in a row, I'm going to stand up because
if not, this series is
верьте. А я за ВП.
It's literally life or death.
Ну ладно. Я не буду вас байтить вообще на это все.
But again, James comes through with just the P250, so it's all right.
Yeah.
4 rifles. It's a little less ridiculous than coming in
Ну,
with
в принципе, у Cloud9 есть шанс за защиту взять, если они сейчас не будут там делать ошибок. Вот как Бумыч сейчас делает, например, занимает банан, они играют закрытую.
CT's very close though. Boomich known to be here, and the support gets unraveled. Fame and Flit.
-2 на банане. Флит просто жесткий какой-то. Хотя Норм... Флит не жесткий, он агрессивный даже. Херойки выиграют, я думаю. Ну, это я думаю так. Что там по кэфам, я даже не в курсе. 3-3, да.
Electronic could get smoked off at a moment's notice. It's going to be the big tall smoke too, Molly. That's going to reveal Flit's position, and that's a huge amount of damage.
3 в 2,5 уже.
60 health gone off the Molly. Perfecto forced to change positions.
Ой-ой-ой.
The duel. Electronic, it's a single frag, that's it. Flit got out of dodge, came back in, and trades out his captain. It needs to be the clutch from Exile, or Virtus.pro will lock in a group grand final. Guaranteed a chance to play for Blast Spring Finals.
А погодите, он сейчас может вытащить.
Guaranteed revenge over Cloud9 for their Thunder Pick loss at the tail end of 2023.
Сейчас он переберет.
Let's see it, Exile. He's gonna open the smoke. Doesn't get the shot though, and the nade just drops him to 40. He's chasing James from here to the end of time, but time is against him. That bomb ticks too fast.
Победа ВП.
Cloud9 topping the group.
Браво. Браво. ВП, молодцы. Ну вот, короче, фраза такая была бы. Слушайте, какая фраза была бы. Если бы Cloud9 выиграли, то я бы сказал вот так. Сейчас, подождите. Погодите, сейчас. Я забыл уже ее. Облако окропило золотым дождем белого мишку. Ну, вроде нормальная фраза, да?
Yeah, we also spoke about before coming into Inferno that it's going to be the slow versus fast play from each team. The slow one from Virtus.pro really paid off. I think.
Ну вы слышали, да, фразу? Все, спасибо.
I just think when Virtus.pro plays slow, if you play slow against them, you're out. It's not going to happen. In Cloud9, it almost felt like they were trying to slow down. They shouldn't have done that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also think that Boomich came in a lot of unfortunate situation on the banana. Like James had really good ideas of where he's going to be in the late rounds, where they could do the retake. So I don't think they had the game plan lined up, and I think Virtus.pro played a really good game.
А тут Мишка, короче, взял, поднялся и обоссал. Да. Мишка хорош. Ребят, короче, сейчас будет... А тут, да, Мишка облако пометил. И сразу, мне так кажется, тут все убирают свои отметки. Мне нравится, типа... Так, опрос завершен. Ну что, смотрим следующую игру? Или не смотрим?
No big upsets, but this one's going to be interesting because I don't think there's a firm
Смотрим.
favorite in this matchup.
No, they've been looking equally worse. That's the thing. I had big expectations coming into Heroic, coming into this tournament, but I've been disappointed from day one. Hopefully they're gonna be.
Ну я просто про бигов ничего не знаю, про Heroic знаю. Поэтому ну, давайте смотрим, ребят. Только знаете, сейчас фишка в том, что будет перезапуск стрима. Я перезапущу его. Ну, чтобы все по красоте было. Поэтому... Да, следующая игра начнется через 5 минут. Поэтому я сейчас 2 минутки его перезапускаю. Покурю. И жду вас на стриме.
I think we're gonna find we're finding a mix right now, a balance of